Hey, good evening, everybody. Welcome to another CAF update. I hope everyone in the audience tonight had a fantastic Christmas. Nice to see all my regulars in here, Peter and Andy and Matt and CJ and Brian. Boy, everybody's here. Jason, Jeff Wedding. Good evening, Jeff. Hope you had a good Christmas, everybody. Honestly, it was good for us. I got in last night, and it was tough. Going up to Ohio, cold weather. We missed all the bad storms while we were traveling. So that was the only positive note from all of the traveling. But I had a great time week that I got to spend with my mom, and saw a few friends. Going over to Mr. Berkey's house, of course, on Wednesday night, and got to do the dueling dealers from his brother's home. But I did miss the snowmageddon and the cold frost that was going through there. It was negative 31 degree wind chill while we were in Northeast Ohio. But yeah, I don't miss it. Not one iota. I'm happy to be back in Florida where it was 80 degrees today. So if you're not in someplace warm, you can only hope that you were here with me today. So yes, a Friday update, everybody. I know that kind of confused some people. I think Colin might have had I probably confused Colin more than anybody. I think he had left the date in the daily newsletters as Thursday. I never looked, but 2 weeks ago when we had our last CAF update, when Chris and I were debating about what we were going to do, I'd said I'm going to skip next week, and then we would have to do it on Friday since Thursday was my travel day. So for those of you who were expecting the show last night and you didn't get it, I do apologize. But here we are tonight. So it's it's like I say, it's good to be back. I got a lot of fun gifts. No art, not really art. I didn't get any art for gifts, but I did pick up a piece of art when I was in Ohio, when I had purchased a piece of art from Cadence when I had Mr. Hawthorne on. I think it was back in September. One of the pieces of artwork that we showed, I ended up buying. Maureen had liked it, and I said I kind of liked it too. So when Maureen said she liked it, I thought, well, all right, I'm going to buy it. So I bought it, and I know sometimes Cadence has like slow delivery times, and so I thought, well, that was September, so October, November. So I finally inquired in like early December. Hey, where's that artwork I bought from you back in September? And they said, oh, we already shipped it to you back in I don't even know. It was mid-November, and it was signed for. And so I looked it up, and sure enough, it went to the old house in Ohio. So that was a bit. I don't have a giveaway tonight, everybody. I wish I did. I should, shouldn't I? I should. I'll set one up. Just give me a few minutes, and I will put together. How about another Dueling Dealers hat giveaway, since I'm caught up with all of those. But so anyway, so the artwork that I bought from Cadence did go to my old home in Ohio. And the thing was, it's goofy. You think if I had gotten a package that's over, like 12 by 18, obviously looks, like it's coming with, it has a return address with the word art on it. Like somebody would actually try to work out finding how to contact me. Right. Well, they didn't. So I had to contact my realtor, who contacted their realtor, who gave me their phone number. And what we ended up working out was, I could go over and get it. And they also told me, oh, well, we have other packages for you too. Like, were they going to hold on to this stuff and just waiting and hoping that I would actually, contact them? Well, I mean, I don't know what they were thinking, but either way, it ended up working out. Maureen was on that side of town, so she picked up the art, and there was actually one other package there for me. But both of them are left back in Ohio. Maureen's driving home to Florida in a week, I believe. So I decided not to open the artwork nor the other package, because I know what the other package is. It's from Metropolis. So it's another bottle of wine, I'm sure, with Vincent's likeness on it one way or another. But I figured it'd be more fun to open that on air, because I'm sure many of you are not on their wine list, or maybe you are. I don't know. There's some of you guys maybe, but yeah. So I don't even think they'll be here next Thursday. So it'll probably be the Thursday after that when I'll get to open the bottle and the original art. But yeah, but they can keep yes, I understand. Right, they can keep the bills. Just don't keep the art. Don't keep the Christmas gifts that are sent to me. Anyways, yes, I thought that was odd, but now I've got their phone numbers, so I figure I'll check in with them end of January just to see if anything else may have ended up over at their place, because yeah, that's just weird. I mean, I'd reached out to them when I realized I still had the genies for the garage door, not to them but to the realtor, and got and asked if it was okay to have my son take one over, and so I was trying to be very helpful, but obviously they were not. But anyway, that's okay. That's neither here nor there at this point. So I appreciate everybody tuning in on Wednesday. Dueling Dealers was a lot of fun doing that Buy Hard episode with Mike and Anthony and Sharon. They're always good sports when we put together a funny script, and it was cool. We actually got a lot of suggestions via email after that episode, with people giving us ideas on what we should do for other themed episodes. So I got a couple of good ones. I won't share them because they should be surprises, but we actually figured out what the next 4 or 5 themed shows will be. So we might actually do them a little bit faster than we've done them in the past. We've only done 4 in 2 years. So maybe we'll speed it up. Maybe we'll do 3 a year going forward. We'll see. There's still a lot of work, but I enjoy doing them. They're one of the few things I enjoy more than doing the show itself, is putting together those scripts and whatnot. And I'm sorry, I'm trying to set this Battissimo giveaway up while I'm chatting with you, and I don't multitask really well until I've had at least 2 or 3 Cokes. Although, I heard that lots of important people drink lots of Cokes, so I think I'm in good company, right? Who was the guy that was in the news for drinking Cokes? I forget. I read it over Christmas. The guy who runs Berkshire Hathaway. I can't think of the name at the moment. Well, I'm typing a giveaway in here. Dueling Dealers hats. Do 5 again, since I have so many. Dueling Dealers hats. 5 to give away. There we go. Hef was a Pepsi freak too. CJ says, all right. Warren Buffett. Thank you, Robert. Yes, that was the one. Warren Buffett drinks 5 Cokes a day. So I'm in good company. Here we go. All right. So I've got everything set, and I don't need any rules. Blah, blah, blah. Only allow people. Yeah, well, it's live. I don't need that. Okay. It should get announced in the giveaway that it is active, and you can type !enter. That's because Berkshire Hathaway owns. Yes, they do own a lot of Coke stock. That is what I read too. All right. Now I feel better. So yeah, I'll give away 5 hats tonight. Well, let me make a note here to pick the giveaways right before we get to the CAF update. All right. But yeah, it was fun. Yeah, but I'll tell you, I don't like sitting next to Mike doing a show. It was okay back in the day when we did those, the Indiana Jones episodes. Those were fun. But no, I'm far too used to having those guys on their own screen, and it just was too weird. The lighting, we were at John's house, and the lighting wasn't very good there. I didn't think the mic was great. We had other challenges to get through, but it was an interesting experiment to try hanging out there. But I don't think we'll have to do that too often going forward. But we did get. I think Maureen's going over there middle of the week coming up. She's going to shoot some memes with Mike as well. Gwen and her were brainstorming on new ideas for some shorts and bits and things that we could use for filler in a lot of stuff coming up. So, we're still getting things done in Ohio while we can. Let me see. So other than that, it was, all I can say is Dueling Dealers is still a lot of fun, and I'm sure I have enough energy to keep doing it for another 100 episodes. It's very rewarding, as everybody knows. I have a lot of fun with it. I hope everybody else does. Every once in a while, I feel like we should do an episode where we almost don't do any memes, just to see how fast we could get the show done without the memes. It would make me think about streamlining a few things on the shows, or limit the memes or the times on them. But outside of that, I do thoroughly enjoy it. And when we get to the schedule, I'll be able to announce a few other special shows that we've got coming up sales wise around that. At least one amateur show confirmed, and another concept show that kind of came out of some a text that I had going on. But probably of most pressing concern to everyone out there is that the Best Of has just over 24 hours remaining for you to submit your artworks in the calendar year 2022. So for those of you wishing to participate in that, please get your artwork added to CAF before midnight Eastern Standard Time tomorrow night, because after that you won't be able to enter into the competition. And I do still have, when I was moving and everything, I found one additional trophy. Take that over here and show you. For those of you who weren't paying attention last year or weren't around, they know that we did give out trophies last year for the best of 2021, and it was a little Thor hammer. It said CAF 2021 on it. Hammer comes off. Yeah. And yeah, I know we're probably breaking all kinds of copyright and trademark laws, but for now, we're sticking with this. I spoke to my uncle over the holiday. He'll be printing up another set of 20 for me, and we will, every one of them we actually kind of hand painted, so they all ended up looking just a little different than the next. But he's going to start printing those, and we'll have them ready for the awards ceremony on the 7th. I do have pants on, unlike Anthony Snyder, who you never know what he's got on. I do wear clothing when I do these shows. Will this year's be a different color? You know what we were thinking about color-wise was changing the medallion color. So we'll see. We haven't decided. I was really trying to come up with something more unique, something more art-centric, and everything that I came up with, and it wasn't a lot, but whatever I showed Maureen and Gwen, they didn't like them. So I just said, well, I don't have time to think about it any further than that. I'm going to stick with what Mikhail suggested last year, which is what we got here. And we'll do that for a few years because it made sense. He said, well, we'll just stick with that for a little bit. It'll look cool for people who win multiple ones to have the same trophy on the bookshelf. So I think okay, Kevin. Hey, Kevin, just so you know, I have been meaning to email you. I just haven't had a chance. I'm not blowing you off. Give me until after the new year, and I'll get back to you. But I appreciate your patience with me because I know that it probably seems like I'm ignoring it. It's just I've actually probably got 50, 60 emails that I have to try to reply to over this weekend that have come in over the last month with ideas, suggestions on different things, and I've just not been able to keep up with it. Let's see. Next year could be Cap Shield. It's not a bad idea. That's not a bad idea. You're right. I mean, maybe we can work our way around the Avengers. I do like that idea. That's not a bad one. But yeah, I tried coming up with some ideas that looked like art kind of, and it just, yeah, the ladies vetoed them, and that's okay. I really couldn't figure out a great concept for it, but I'm sure at some point we'll have fine-tuned it, maybe 5, 6, 8 years down the road where we have something that we're going to stick with. But all right, well, okay, Cap Shield isn't good. Then Hulk's pearls, I don't know about that. Maybe a nuclear cloud or something. We'll come up with something. Anyway, but best of 2022. Please don't. Every year, I always have like 4 or 5 people after midnight, shoot me an email saying, can I somehow backdate this art? It just came in. Listen, if you bought the art today and you're getting it on Monday, but you have a scan of it and you want it to be in the 2022, get it on the site. Take the scan that you got and post it, even though it's not in your possession. Get it on the site. Yeah, Infinity Gauntlet. That'd be a fun one too. What does a CG trophy look like? I don't know, Michael. I'm not sure, but the Crotch Goblin. No, Crotch Goblins will never, ever, ever make it to the show, unless Anthony comes up with his own award every year. He might go for that. Should be a thigh gap, says Marcus. Oh yeah, here I can show you. My daughter Emma got me. I can show what she got me when about 1.5 years ago. I absconded with where the heck did I put that? Over here. Okay, these nice little holders for your phone. Well, I use it for the phone. The kids used them for their Switches and DSs and whatnot. But it was just perfect when we were doing Dueling Dealers or those Third Eye, art sales that we do with when I've got Nicole texting me. So I took theirs and I basically keep it in front of me and I'm watching the chat for anything coming from Nicole, or if I'm doing a show where somebody else is texting me. And so I just took it. And so the kids, I think, were always a little bit mad at me. So Emma bought me, well, show it to you from the front. She bought me, here he is. Look, it is a Deadpool, but it can hold my phone. But let me look at that. He's got a better rear end than I do. So look, you can put the phone right on it. So now that's what I'm looking at all the time now, and we can thank Emma for that gift. So it's not quite the thigh gap, it's the butt crack, but that is what I get to look at every day now. It sits right in front of me while I'm working. So thank you, Emma, for that Christmas gift. Infinity Haunches. Yeah, there's Billigan Hat Award. I did think about special awards because we do have a couple awards that we give out that aren't community voted on, and so while I don't think we're going to have anything special this year, I think that the idea that we have behind it warrants coming up with something a little bit unique for that award. So, hey Nick, I was watching your show tonight. I did not comment at all during it because I was doing other things, but you had a good show. You raised some good money for Fat Cats and Fat Jacks and Perez. So, always good to see you, Nick. And I hope you had a good Christmas like everybody else. Emma has some nice gifts. Yes, Emma does. Emma's got, she's always got my best interests at heart, but she really probably wanted her stand back more than anything. Brett, who won that? I can't remember his name now. I can't, yeah, but I know I was there for the drawing. Can't remember. At any rate, if you are watching right now, we are going to do a hat giveaway tonight for the Dueling Dealers hats. And do I have my, oh yeah, here you go. To enter into the giveaway, just type ! Enter into the chat. And when we get to the calf update portion of the show, I will draw the 5 winners. And anybody who wins, please always remember to send me your mailing address so I can get these things out to you. It's no fun hunting everybody down after you win. I want to be able to. I've actually got boxes. I've been saving boxes to mail hats, so I've got plenty of them. 3 more likes to the first rhino. All right, we're getting there. Let's see. What was so at any rate, best of 2022. Let's get it in there because we do have it's time crunch stuff, and this honestly, if I can get it turned on where on the 2nd of the month we can start submitting artwork to it, that is kind of my ideal. I know we always say like the 6th or the 7th, but there's no reason why I shouldn't have it on by the 2nd or the 3rd. I know I had the whole timetable stuff written down here. I'm just trying to see if I can find it quick from. I know that Colin has been posting best of 2022 stuff for me. Actually, I'll just share this screen. You can see it with me. Over here. Yep, right there. So timeline being, get it in by the midnight tomorrow, and then posting will begin 7th or sooner. So expect it 2nd or 3rd. You'll be able to post or make decisions on posting because nothing gets committed until the closing period of picking your 5 artworks is done. So on midnight, January 15th, that's a Sunday, of course, I believe, right? Am I wrong? All right. What is that? I don't even know anymore. The 15th. Yeah, it's a Sunday. So on that night, midnight, we will close the posting options for you, and then we'll start voting on the 16th. We'll leave voting open until the 30th of January, and then on the 7th, we will have the live presentation on YouTube, just like we've done for the last couple of years. I'll probably start things off with Brian, give everybody a reminder, the history of the best of, so that kind of gives our segue into it, and then we'll run through all the award options that we've got. Do I have any exciting goals for the channel in 2023? I don't know. I mean, exciting goals for the channel. I mean, sure. I think I've hinted that we're going to be starting a new show sometime probably close to February, March. I mean, it's been something I wanted to do, and I just haven't. I'm waiting for the content and the programming that Maureen has to get done on CAF to be able to start implementing this new show that we want to do. So that's that for me is the main thing. And then more than anything, I'll be honest, it's just trying to finding a balance in my life. The one thing that has come out of the last 2 weeks is, you remember, we didn't have a CAF update last week, so I really didn't do a lot of programming between the last CAF update and now, right? I had a couple Dueling Dealers episodes in there, but having 2 weeks off was odd but refreshing. It reminded me like what my life was like before I started live streaming, and it's not like it just, but it was amazing. I was like, I don't have anything to do this afternoon. I don't have to prep for a show. I didn't have to, and it was just odd. It was like, I find myself wondering what should I do now? And so but it was nice. It was a nice reminder. So if I had a goal in 2023, it'd be to find a way to continue the same pace, but find a way to kind of balance things out a little bit. has a little bit more family time, a little bit more me time, and still be able to do things like we're doing. And I do think that we'll be able to find ways to do that. I've had some people offer to do interviews, host them for me, and I think that there'll be ways for us to do more and have me not feel. And the thing is, I don't feel stressed out. It was just odd having that time and realizing that, wow, I could play a video game if I wanted or something. I played cards with the family more than I ever have in the last 2 weeks over the last 50 prior weeks. So that's all. It was just, it was like, yeah, I need to figure that balance out. But we're approaching the three-year mark of us doing the channel. So I think I'm constantly trying to find better ways to do these things. But well, I do work hard, but like I say, I don't mind it. The only, like I say, I don't notice it until I'm not doing it. Right. So that's all. But I think we're moving in the right direction for all of that. To the Balance Fund. Thank you very much. I do appreciate that. But yeah, I'm going to get there. But the thing is, we are going to add a new show. I'm sure before, at least by March 1st, if not a little bit sooner. But haven't really figured out exactly when. But it probably is Sunday. I mean, and it's only because that's the only other free night. I don't want to work on Friday and Saturday nights, and we already have Monday through Thursday blocked out. Most of the time, Tuesday through Thursdays are guarantees. And Mondays I always do extra shows. And as it turns out, for almost all of January, I've got my Mondays booked because I'm doing extra shows on Monday. So creating a new show does force it to be something that's probably going to end up being on Sunday. So, but we're still working through all that. Maureen has to get this programming done that she hasn't had a wealth of time to work on over the last month and a half, just because we've had a few challenges going on around here, and and now she's we've been away for vacation. So my hope is that by the end of January she'll have that main stuff done. It'll give us a month to do some testing, and then I'll feel good enough and be ready enough to kind of do this new program. So any plans to open a miniature golf course business in Florida? Says Brett. Absolutely not. That's all in the past without question. I'm not, I'm done. If anything, I'll put a single green, a miniature golf green in the back of my yard, but I will not build a business. There's enough Gator Golfs and Castle Putts and things down here already. Christopher Daly says a monthly trivia game show would be fun. I've had a lot of trivia and game show ideas that have been brought up to me, and I think that they definitely would be fun. Being able to show you a piece of art, and it was even suggested today by somebody where show a piece of art, be able to guess the inker, versus just the penciler, those sorts of things. I mean, I think there would be a lot of fun things that we could wrap around the hobby that, again, I think still would help introduce people to the idea of collecting original comic art as well. So yeah, but I can't host them all. And so that's where, people coming up with some good ideas and presenting them, and us figuring out how we can get it done, in a good way that, benefits the whole community. Then, I'm all for it. And I like that, a once a month show, right? It gives us something to look forward to. I mean, we all like the regular programming, but I think pushing a few things out where they're monthly, we did that really fun X-Men show, but we haven't done another show since then. And I know that Tatiana was supposed to work on a Batman show. I think Larry might be trying to put together a show as well. But it would be nice to have a show like that once every month as well. CAF University, Jeff Wedding and I are still talking about that. He threw a couple ideas at me that are were pretty simple ones for us to tackle. That I texted with him over the holiday, just my thoughts on it. So it's something that we will probably be able to do as well early in the new year, but probably late January to February. So yeah, execution of ideas is the difficult part, Comic Art Boss, and I completely, that's just it. We can all have lots of ideas, but if you can't get them done, it's tough. It's like, you look at the theme shows we do on Dueling Dealers. I mean, I wrote that script 8 weeks ago, but we really, and some of it was shot 6 weeks ago, but we were busy the night before pulling it all together. it's really it's tough because it's in some ways this is still like our free time, that we're working in and trying to do really well and put out quality products, whether it's streaming stuff or the new features on CAF. And yeah, it's a lot to juggle, but again, like I've tried to suggest, I mean, I think we're moving in the right direction around here, and better things await. That's all I can say. Marcus should be the game show host. Yes, but yeah, somehow if he could do it from the chat, Marcus would be the best game show host of all, and that would be very interesting if that were possible. But let's see. You just noticed the skull on the back shelf. Is that allowed? Well, Maureen doesn't. She asked me about the one that I've got Thor's helmet on. It's been there for years. She always forgets where I got it from, but it was something that it was my father's. It's actually a bank. So he had it, and when my father passed, my mom was probably going to donate it or something. I was like, nah, I'm going to take that because it's just another trinket from my dad. So I've always had it there, and it works out perfect, right? I've got the one skull, the dark skull, I actually did in an art class. That's actually clay fired piece, and that's got Loki's helmet on it. But yeah, so nope, Maureen has no problems with those because they serve a better purpose. They can hold hats. Not made from a real skull though. Anyway, but let's move on. So I wanted to put a reminder out there to everybody about the sketchbook stuff that's going on next month. Of course, everybody voted on their theme for the month of January, and that of course is going to be superheroines. So what I was texting with James today, and he was like, well, remind everybody how to use the sketchbook. So let's take a look at that. I'll give you a reminder. It's real simple, but and it's also real confusing for new members because they sometimes post to this thinking there's adding artwork to their CAF gallery. But from your main CAF gallery page where you manage all of your gallery rooms and whatnot, there is this yellow box right at the top. So it says monthly sketchbook. So very easy. It changes every month. It'll have the title of whatever that current month's sketchbook is, so that you know what you're adding your art to. And you just go ahead and click that button. And it's pretty much the same setup as your add art. There's a few less options there, but just go through, add in all your details, and you'll be adding artwork to the sketchbook. So, as you know, we're going to be doing a monthly talk show around that. That's part of 2023. James is spearheading that, Mr. Siegel. I don't know if he's in the audience tonight. He's probably working the arms, I'm sure. But he will be manning that. There'll be a talk show the week after the sketchbook closes, where he'll have on 3 other guests. They're going to pick their favorite artworks. They'll debate on why, the merits of the pieces. So, and I did promise everybody that if it turns out that the sketchbook gets used more often, I will be happy to modify programming to allow people to essentially share artwork from their CAF gallery into the sketchbook rather than adding it as new, so it's a separate artwork. But I want to see the usage go up. Oh, there's James. Okay, James, I figured you had to be here somehow. You're probably riding the bike right now. Anyway, so but very, very Friday is squats. But yes, so that's where you'll see it. It'll say January 2023 and superheroines, and you'll post your own drawings if you like. I mean, we're open to you posting your favorite collected artworks or your own drawings that you've done yourself. We're not going to hold you to one thing or another, but I would encourage you to do whatever you like. That's going to be the way the approach. Today was leg day, says James. So all right. But yeah, so there you have it. But James, I don't have it necessarily on the schedule yet. I know that James and I have kicked around a few dates, and I haven't added it yet. But just looking at things, we'll get it worked out. I've been fleshing out a few things that have come up and putting them on the schedule. I got Tony Fleeks is going to be on the show next month, so I'm juggling a lot of things that are coming up schedule-wise, but we'll make it. Hey, Scott Rosema, Nice to see you, man. I haven't. We have Scott Roseman was one of the first people I actually did an interview with. I think in the first year CAF was out there, probably one of the oldest news posts is a interview with Scott Roseman. You'd have to. We don't even have a search for it, but it's there. If you were to search on Scott Roseman interview and CAF, you would find that there is a interview back there from 2003. So yes, nice to have you around. And and James, hey, if anybody wants to do be on a panel for these things with James, you can email him through his James S. CAF Gallery, and he would be happy to have you be a volunteer to be on that show. All right, now you know what we actually have 2 weekly flips to do today, and so I'm going to go ahead and do the first one right now, just because I don't want to forget to do any of these things. So I'm going to do Aranga's first because I got his before. Larry wants to know what the pay rate is. Oh boy, I'll let James discuss that one in the chat while we're all watching Aranga's flip. Now Aranga has pulled out the large portfolio here, everybody. He is showing off the the big art with this flip, and it's pretty darn awesome. He sent this to me a couple weeks ago, and I'm glad that he was able to wait for me to get it on here for him. But here, let's have a look.
Howdy ho, CAF world. For my flip this week, I thought I'd feature my larger folder, 18 by 24, where I keep my DPS pieces and other pieces that won't fit in some of the most standard size folders. Kicking things off with this DPS from X Factor issue 119, pages 4 and 5 by Steve Epting. I was a huge fan of Peter David's run on this book with Larry Stroman and Joe Quesada. And once he left, Steve Epting's art, it kept me around for probably longer than I would have if not. Just a neat spread featuring Forge, Polaris, and Magal Mystique. It's a much more recent acquisition right here. It's Ian Churchill and Scott Hanna. It's the DPS for Cable issue 29, pages 7 and 8. Love Churchill and the work he did on Cable. I don't think you can call him underrated, but not quite the love that some of his peers get. And rare DC sighting right here. It's Mike Perkins from Swamp Thing issue 15, pages 12 and 13. Just absolutely slayed this book, and a great read too by Ram V. And we've got this monster of a pinup by Tom Rainey from X-Men Annual Number 1, a mutant masterwork. Love Rainey's work when he popped in the scene doing some fill-ins on Uncanny, so super happy to have this one in the collection. Here we've got Olivia Coipel and Mark Morales, DPS from Siege issue 4, pages 2 and 3. Sentry giving way to the Void and opening up a can of whoop ass on our heroes right here. Here we've got the madness that is Nir Levy. It's the DPS for the Chapter 6 introduction for his book, BioRipple. Just recently found his work through TD Art, and absolutely stunning stuff. And how badass is this sucker right here? John Cassaday is a DPS from Astonishing X-Men issue 7, pages 4 and 5. Absolutely loved Joss Whedon's work on this book, and Cassaday, woof. Flipping the page from published stuff to commissions right here, we've got Esad Ribic, little Thor versus Loki action. What more do you need to say about this guy? I love this piece. And here we've got another recent acquisition from the absolute wizard that is Stephen Defendini. All the X-Women in their Hellfire Gala outfits. This thing is just a sight to behold. 16 characters in total, including Two little Easter eggs in the back. Quick flip of the orientation right here. This is Alex Maleev doing an homage to Frank Miller's Daredevil cover, and it's upside down. Nice job, E. And on the other side, we've got Mystique by Colton Worley. This is oil on canvas. Continuing on with more Colton Worley, we've got Spidey sitting on a traditional Batman gargoyle, and Spidey 2099 as a companion piece right here. If you're not familiar with Colton's work, he's worthy of your consideration. Just puts out some incredible work. Flipping back over to some more published work. This is Simone Bianchi on the left. It's a prelim to his cover to Avengers number 38. The original buyer had requested that Simone add some color work in there, taking it a little bit beyond what his traditional prelims are. On the right, you've got Brandon Peterson with some Daredevil vs. Psylocke action from AVX Versus issue 4, page 1. And that brings the weekly flip to a close. Hopefully it was quick and painless, and you guys enjoyed it. Thanks for sticking through it with me, guys and gals.
Hey, great stuff as always. I think I recognized a few pieces in there from things we've featured in the past, right? And one of those pieces I'm featuring tonight. So that's was interesting. I actually didn't watch all of the video. I didn't realize he had one of his pieces in there that I picked for this evening. But anyway, Aranga, thank you so much. And as everybody knows, we can always use more flips. I see people posting them on Facebook now. It's like it's become a thing. So now people are just like doing their own thing, and they're doing them on Facebook. That's cool, but why not share them back over here so you can actually get them out there permanently for everyone to see. But Aranga, I appreciate it. And again, anybody else who'd like to do one, email me, bill@comicartfans.com. I'll give you all the details on how to do it. Just always remember, film it horizontally. That's the number one thing to remember. But outside of that, Aranga had a good rig set up there. Clearly, he had that on a tripod of some kind, so that was decent. You don't always have to do that. I've seen guys who've shot those things freehand, and I think that they're just as good, as long as you're not shaky. So again, thank you, Aranga. And we're going to see another one from Steve Priazier shortly. But before we do, I've ended up having all my mail held, so I got some letters in here, probably Christmas cards in one way or another, or checks. I believe this is a check. This is probably from George Hagenauer, who told me he was sending his premium membership payment. So nice little card there. Got all his contact information, and he's telling me to keep up the good work. So thank you, George, for that card. And Mr. Siegel, James Siegel, the Siegel family has sent me a card as well. It went to my Chardon, Ohio address, just like he had mentioned it probably was going to do. And it did make its way back down here to Florida, where it was held while I was gone. And I've seen some of these photographs on Facebook, and you guys look awesome as always. Yeah, season's greetings from the Siegels. Thank you, James. Then I've got a letter from Mr. Felix Liu, and it's probably a card as well. I think my mailman must have read it beforehand. Let's see, what do we got here? Yes, I saw this image before. Zombie Santa. This is from Ryan Sook. Art, thank you for all your patronage and support over the years. We wouldn't be here without you. Happy holidays. Thank you, Bill. Happy 2023, Felix. There, that one's going to go up on the wall. I love Sook's work. And last but not least, this one is from Mr. Brian Norton, Red Jack, Mr. Red Jack in the chat. Oh, he's got some extra tape on it too. Let's see what we got in here. And let's see. I love 3D cards. Look at that, a little snowman with a fox. Happy holidays to Bill, Maureen, and family. Brian Norton. Thank you, Brian. This one will go up on the fridge so that Maureen gets to view it as well. It's very nice. All right. I love getting Christmas cards. I'm going to come up with a calf Christmas card for next year. Got to work out something. But don't know why I've never thought of that before, but after getting a lot of creative cards this year, I've decided we have to do one. So I'll work that out. We'll figure out how to do that for next year. So next up is, I should probably be looking at the schedule and just doing that. But remember we did the Anthony Snyder sales show, right? The one where he was all by his lonesome. And then we took some offers from the crowd as far as from stuff on his website. People were pitching him on different combo deals and those sorts of things. Well, Anthony really wanted to do his own show, and that I would host, and I agreed to do it. So we're going to have a show on Monday, January the 9th, and it'll be 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time start. What we've decided to do to start off with is to allow people to go to Anthony's website, anthonyscomicbookart.com, and figure out how to. Brett wants to do a drawing for a hat. We could do a drawing for a hat initially. I wouldn't mind. I could pick a winner early, and then pick some more as we go. That's not a bad idea. But let me finish what I was talking. My train of thought here with Anthony. So we're going to do the show on the 9th. And what we decided would be that you can mail pre-offers to me, so I'll kind of cobble them all together for Anthony and get them organized for him, and then we'll present those at the start of the show on Monday. Then during the live show, it's like a Snyder Con. Thank you, Dino. Very, very good. And so what we'll do is, and I would encourage people to get your offers in early, right? I mean, they got to be legit offers. Don't take $1,000 piece and offer him $200. I mean, I probably won't even present him that. That's because I'll just assume you're not being serious. But I mean, go through it, I would say combo some things up if you see 3 or 4 pieces you like. But what I want everybody to do is send me the link. So you're being his website, you see a piece you want. Just give me the link to the piece and what and say it's 4 pieces. Give me the links to all 4, and then what your offer is, total offer is for the 4 pieces, or 2 pieces, or 1. I don't care, but as long as it, because I want it to be as easy for us as possible to kind of put these offers together for Anthony, for him to your crotch goblin offers has been rebuffed. You never know, Marcus. He may be in a really interesting and charitable mood that night, but he's got a college fund to take care of, and I know that he's definitely in a wheeling and dealing mood. So just put your offers together. I think on Monday I'll send out a formal email to the whole email list that I've got, stating that this will be going on the following Monday night, and I'll take the combo offers or whatever. I'll take your offers up until the probably, I'd say we'd probably want to cut it off 24 hours before the show, just so I can kind of get everything together for him. But we'll be, if we have time, if the show doesn't run 4 hours, we'll definitely have time to take some live during it. But again, I'd encourage you to make your offers and emails to me early, because I'm going to kind of take them in the order that they come in. So if somebody's, if you want the same piece as somebody else, but the other guy requested it the day before, they've pretty much got first dibs on potentially getting whatever that art is. So I would just say, get your offers in early, and that's the order that I'm going to use them. So, but again, I will send an email out on Monday for everybody, but it gives you the weekend to maybe browse Anthony's site, start picking out some favorite pieces, and then we'll kind of go from there. Let's see. I just got an email. Let's see. So yeah, I see Nick's emailing me about something while we're talking, but yes. So, but the answer to that is yes, Nick. I'll email with you after the show. Let's see. Oh man, now I'm kicking myself on that one. But yeah, I'll send out an email on Monday to everybody so they can figure out what to do with Anthony and that show. But we will get it worked out, I promise you. So I'm kind of. Let me think here. I think we should probably switch over to the other weekly flip from Steve Creazier. He did another complete story flip. So it's not a 22-page flip. It is actually it's a story within a war story here. So it's a complete Russ Heath 14-pager, I believe, and some additional art. So Steve has a few of these in his calf gallery, complete stories, which is pretty cool. And here he's presenting another one. And this one runs about 8 minutes long, but very, very cool stuff in here. Makes me want to go out and get some Russ Heath art. So here, let's take a look.
Welcome to another Weekly Flips. This is the complete story edition. Today we're going to take a look at Our Army at War number 212, which was published by DC in 1969. And it's the story The Quiet War, which was drawn by Russ Heath, who, along with Joe Kubert, was doing some of the best war art for DC at the time. And this is a 14-page story. On the left is just a convention drawing that Russ did in 2007 of Sergeant Rock. So let's take a look at the first page here. Oh, on the left is a vintage picture of Russ, handsome Russ at his drawing board. And on the right is the title page to the story, and showing the intensity of Sergeant Rock. And just owning this title page alone would be great, but incredibly, I was able to put this story back together over several years. I think I got the title page in 2009, and some other pages came earlier, and then some other pages came later, and I was able to put it all back together. So let's take a look at pages 2 and 3, which is the double page splash. What I love about the DC War comics from this era, both Russ and Joe Kubert were doing incredible double splashes. I mean, when I was a comic reader, like, these were great. So page 1 was always cool, but when you went to pages 2 and 3, it was just incredible to see what the artists were doing. These were usually where the title of the story went, and sometimes the credits. In this one, obviously, they're going to tell the story of Sergeant Rock losing his hearing. So this is a giant explosion. Russ was a master at drawing explosions. He drew his own sound effects too. The lettering, Russ always left enough room for the letterers. He was good about that, supposedly. He was a good letterer in his own right, but that was a little too much work. So he just kind of maybe sometimes did light outlines where the lettering would go for the letterer to put in the lettering. And I don't think he normally drew the titles. That was like someone in production. So the sound effects are definitely Russ. So take this in, the double splash. Sergeant Rock loses his hearing, and we'll go on to pages 3 and 4. Or, 4 and 5. Page 4 on the left is actually the first page I got in 2008. And the page on the right, I think I got it later that year. I think they were coming up on eBay. Just someone was breaking up the story, I guess. Love that bottom left panel of page 4. The intensity there. And then nice blacks on the page on the right. Got a full team shot in the middle there. So we'll go on to pages 6 and 7. Page 6 is a 2/3 page, which an advertisement was used for part of that in the published. And on the right is the chapter page, part 2, The Quiet War. Love that shot of Rock in the upper right. Super intense. Super intense. Actually, I look at my notes here. So in page 4, I got, and 5, I got in 2008. Pages 1, 14, and 6, I got in 2009. And pages 7 and 13, in a lot, were in 2011, along with a double splash separately, 2011. So over the span of 3 years, these pages started trickling out, and somehow I was able to put it all back together, and actually looked up the cost. It was $5,249.01 to put it all together, which I guess isn't a terrible deal. On Heritage, I saw a complete story recently sell for over $20,000 by Russ. So not only is it beautiful art, I guess it's a good investment. I'm not looking to break it up, though. Pages 8 and 9, getting into some action. Page 9. Some infiltration on page 8. All these pages are super clean in person. It's like Russ drew them yesterday. These were kept in really good shape over the years. Pages 10 and 11, some action, explosions, close-ups of characters. Love that in the bottom left. That almost looks like one of Russ's Atlas horror comics with the close-up on the face. Sergeant Rock. That middle panel on the page on the right, page 11, is great. Sergeant Rock and the grenades. Russ was great with shadows. That panel on the bottom right on page 11, silhouettes of the guys climbing up the building. A lot of that, unfortunately, got lost sometimes when the DC colored the issue for publication. So that's why it's great to see these in black and white. Pages 12 and 13. Going into the castle, surprising the Germans, taking care of business. Blam. So much for that castle. And that's the end page. On the left, another 2/3 page. And this is a nice thing on the right. And this is a drawing by Russ, painting actually, from 1944. It's the control tower to Mitchell Field in Long Island. Russ painted this back in the day. He was about 18 or 19. He joined the Air Force in, I believe, 1944. And he was stationed here for a bit, and I guess he painted this piece. So when DC hired Russ to do war comics, they picked the right guy. He had experience in the military. A couple of the bonus pieces I'm going to show are 2 more double splash pages. This one's from Our Army at War 236. A lot of great detail in that foggy background with the cemetery. Sergeant Rock of Easy Company in the Face of the Devil. And then one more double splash page. Rock and Iron from Our Army at War 253. It's Rock fighting the Iron Major. This one I actually showed to Russ, and he laughed. He said he really liked doing this one because there was a lot to do, which I thought was interesting because, you know, these guys got paid the same rate for every page, so a lot to do might have been more work and for the same amount of money, but it didn't bother Russ. He was up to the challenge. It's beautiful. So thanks for tuning in for the complete story. Let's go back to the title page one more time. Take a look. And see you on the next Weekly Flip.
That was a fantastic flip, Steve. I mean, that's as soon as I saw it, I was like, dang it, man. I think that, you know, I have to get me some Russ Heath art now. When I look at that, it's like you can see he influenced so many different artists. I mean, I see Brian Bolland in there. I see a lot of different people that Russ clearly his work had an influence on people. So yeah, I'm in love. I got to get me some more of that. So thank you for sharing it, and we look forward to the next complete story or complete issue flip that you might have, or whatever cool idea you come up with. But thank you. That's the second one that Steve has put together, and of course, Steve also gave us that great Joe Kubert walkthrough from the exhibition in Spain. That I think was pretty awesome too. So keep the content coming, Steve. We're happy to share it here. It's our pleasure. So hey, I saw a question. Where was that? I know I highlighted it here. Knights of Old wanted to know, Bill, what if I offer $500 on the live show? Anthony says 600. I say okay. Then later you tell Anthony someone else offers 700. Well, the thing is, I'm going to go in the order that I've gotten the offers from people. So if you're offering 600 and the next guy's offering 700, you're going to get it at 600 if he accepts it. or if he counters at 700 and you accept his counter offer. So you got to be there to be able to handle so if you're submitting a set of offers to him through me, I would say that you got to be there to be able to kind of work it out if he's going to accept it or not. But no, it's the same thing as if you were lined up at a table. If you were the first one who was there and you were offering him $600 for an $800 page he has listed, and he counters you at $700, and you take it, the guy behind you can't get it. So I'm not going to reveal to him if like he gets 10 sets of offers and they all have the same piece of art in it, and the last one's the most expensive one. I'm not playing it like that. I'm going to just do them in the order that he gets them. And if that knocks a piece out from somebody else's set further on down the road, then at that point we'll have to figure it out. I mean, I don't know. Again, it's a new format, right? We're just trying something slightly different to create a different experience. It worked well that night, but Anthony will be at his warehouse when he does this, so he'll be able to pull the artwork and guarantee it's there. So, but yeah, it'll be the order that we get them, and so it's going to be interesting. That's why I think it's going to be it may end up just being a little too chaotic for me. At the end, if we're going through offers that we pre-received, there's going to be people in the audience who are going to be wanting to make offers on things as well. But we're going to be locked into trying to get through the pre-received offers that we've gotten. So again, more the reason why submit your offers early through me so that I can get them to him, and the earliest offers get passed to Anthony first. So, and there's no shenanigans, I can assure you. I may give him the pieces to pull just so we can guarantee the art's available, but I won't tell him the offers. It'll all be done live, and he'll have to make those decisions, right on spur of the moment. So I think it'll be interesting. But again, I think we may end up causing more headaches than we solve by doing this. But again, I'm always game to try something new, and Anthony's always looking to try something new. So let me just go ahead and show the schedule, and I can actually add something to this. But so yes, you can see a very, very full schedule. Next Tuesday, I'll have Scott Eder on. I don't have anything scheduled for next Monday. I thought about it, but I'd rather just have an extra day off. So Tuesday, we'll have Scott Eder on. Then a couple regular, our Dueling Dealers and a CAF update. Then the Anthony's Make Offer show will be on the 9th. That's a Monday. I'll have Josh Flanders on Tuesday. What do we got? I listed 111 as that's not accurate. Why is that on there? I've got the wrong date on the Heritage Recap. Heritage Recap is actually the 16th. So, and I'm not sure if I'm going to be doing a preview for Heritage or not, because I don't really have an open day for it. If I did anything, I might try to do something on the Friday the 6th, but it's only if Joe Manarino wants to do it with me. Otherwise, we won't have a Heritage preview unless I do something special on my own. But I probably wouldn't. If Joe's not available, I won't do one. But the Heritage Recap isn't 111. It is actually 116. Then I'll have Will Spertasio on the 17th. Then on the following Tuesday after that, I'll have Philip Anderson, CAF collector and longtime kind of art seller as well. I think I bought my first art from Philip and Mr. Fleming back in the day. So after that, as you can see, this is just kind of, well, actually even before that, on the 23rd, I haven't got this listed on here, but I was just emailing with Nick because I screwed up something. On the 23rd, we will be doing a fundraiser for Fat Jack's Comic Shop. We've already done a few different things to help raise money for them to kind of keep their shop afloat, to get them over this bit of a jam that they're in right now. And on the 23rd, Monday the 23rd, Nick and I will be doing a show where there'll be art to give away, to sell, to raise money for Fat Jack's, and we'll also have some comics as well. So it'll be a fundraising event, and as always, it'll be a lot of fun. Nick and I enjoy hanging out together and chatting with everybody, and we'll also be showing some art and other things that you'll be able to purchase to help support Fat Jack. So that will be on the 23rd. I'm sorry it's not on the schedule here, but the following Monday after that is I know that this is an interesting one. We've done tag team match before, but that was between Dino and Jordan and Mike and Anthony. This is going to be a tag team match between two pairs of amateur dueling dealers. and that will be James S. and Jason D. And their tag team name is the Legion of Dr. Doom, and they're going up against Mikhail and Mr. Fish. They've come up with the name of the Art Throbs, and I know that a very interesting combination. But these guys are going to play this tag team matchup to the hilt. I can assure you, it's going to be a lot of fun. And what they decided on was they were going to do a 10-round match with each guy bringing 10 pieces of art. So there'll be 40 pieces in total. Rounds 1 through 8 will be priced $1,500 or less. The round 9 piece will be around $5,000 or less, we could say. And then anything will go with the 10th round piece. So it'll be and as James wrote it, the 10th round piece is the finishing move. So that's where you really determine who's going to win or lose this thing. But it'll be fun. I mean, we've had James, Jason, and Mikhail on amateur shows before, and Fish has been a regular on the show before. We've never had him on a sales show, so that'll be interesting, and I'm looking forward to it. And actually, Jordan pitched me on an idea via text right before the show on doing a kind of an interesting concept show that I'll have to get back to him on. But I definitely think that we'll have Jordan back on the show sometime in probably early February if we can work out a date for that. But again, just doing some fun sales shows around the Dueling Dealers format. But Mr. Redjack says, and he pulls a chair from under the ring. Oh boy, we need bowling shirts. Yes, exactly. It'll be a fun night for that. Then on Monday the 6th, I'll have Tony Fleeks on. He's got a new book coming out, and we were talking in Baltimore, and he was talking about wanting to get on the show and do an interview. And when we were emailing after the show, he had said, "Well, I've got this book coming out in February. How about we do it around that time?" So we'll do our show, I believe, on the 6th. It's possible that it might move a 1 week or two or something, but we're pretty solid on the 6th. Then the best of 2022 will be on the 7th. So be ready for that. It's always a good show. It's our anniversary show, as everybody knows. So, our CAF will be 20 years old this year on February 1st. And so the best of presentation is always kind of tied together with a virtual celebration of CAF at the same time. So that will be a fun night. I'm sure, like I mentioned earlier, I'm sure I'll have Brian Peck on with me to start. Mikhail will be joining me as well. And we will have a lot of fun presenting the awards this year. And I'm really, really, really looking forward to it, as I think we made a lot of great strides in last year's presentation. And I think the follow-up from that, where we had people had done some pre-recorded interviews, I think we're gonna top that this year. We're gonna come up with an even better presentation for everybody. James is gonna break a plank or something on someone. Oh boy, yeah, that is gonna be a night to remember, everybody. Then that's Saturday on the 11th. I'm doing that Florida art meetup and CAF birthday party. So anybody that's in the Florida area on the 11th, from 11 to 5, if you can make it out this way, feel free to email me and I will get you my address, and we can, hopefully have you over. It's going to be more art to get together, but I'm going to put together a few 20th anniversary tchotchkes for anybody who can make it out. And, it's going to be a good time. Several people have already told me that they've rented an Airbnb. They're going to be staying nearby. The Super Bowl's the next day. So, there'll be plenty of things to do, but Saturday will just be a fun art hangout at my place. So let's hope for good weather, because I'm hoping that we can use the back patio area here, which is pretty much it's pretty big size. I think it'll make for a fun and entertaining day. Maureen will probably be glad when it's all over, but it's going to be a good time. I think we've bought this house to have these kind of events at it, and I'm looking forward to it. So, and I did hear today Ken Carson from 4C is going to be there, as is Bill Morrison, because Bill's in town doing a CGC signing, or in town. He's in state. And so CGC is working around my get-togethers schedule to allow Bill to come to to the meetup. So I hope so that's cool. So I mentioned Jimmy Palmiotti is going to be there, and a few other friends and other people who have been on the show before. So it's going to be is there room for us to sleep over? Says Brett. Not quite yet, Brett. I do hope at some point in the near future, to have better accommodations here. But for now, no sleepovers at the house. Though, if you brought your own, RV, I have plenty of space for you to park an RV here. So it'll look like Breaking Bad times 10 here. But yeah, we've got the space if you have something along those lines. Then after that, I've got Christian Gossett art sale late in February. We've been emailing with Mr. Oming and Mr. Taken to come back in March. The bad news is Bart Sears is starting a new gig at the beginning of January, and he's not quite sure on what his workload is going to look like. So we had him scheduled late in January to come back, and he asked us to kind of hold off until he's had a few weeks under his belt with this new gig to figure out how much work is involved with it, and then he'll get back to us to let us know when we can have him on another Saturday art sale show. So my guess would be we probably won't have him back on until later in February. So yeah, Tent City, says James. Oh boy, well I don't know about that, James, but at any rate, it will be a good time, and I do hope we have if we get 30 or 40 people out here, I'll be happy. It'll be a fun time. My son is going to be here. Ashton, there's a big Pokemon event in Orlando the weekend before, and so he's coming down for that, and he'll be staying for a couple weeks here. So he's going to be our grill master. He'll be cooking burgers and brats and whatnot on the back grill while we're all looking at artwork and enjoying ourselves. So he's up for it. He said, I'm your man. I can cook burgers all day long. So anyway, no golf course yet, Knights of Old. But yeah, so you get the idea. It's a busy. I was just talking about trying to find balance, and yet I've pretty much got the whole 2 months pretty well booked with 4 shows a week at minimum. So, we will find our way through it as we always do. And I've got lots of other invites out to people as well that are either on the fence trying to figure out if they want to do a chat with me. But we'll work things out as they come. And so everybody did notice we did not give you an announcement on the Kickstarter on the during the 100th episode, and that's just because Nick and I just have to iron out a couple details. Nick got me the final color pieces as well as the final inked pieces, scans of them, so I could look them over and give my thumbs up. And Nick, I give you my thumbs up on all of them. I showed them to Mike and Anthony too, so we're all ready to go. All we have to do is really get everything input into Kickstarter, and we will get that out there. And I'll probably take a first pass at it, Nick, and then maybe we can share it with one of your employees who are used to setting it up, and they can give it a once over as well. Make sure we get the shipping information right and all that stuff, because I know it's a little more complicated. I've never shipped comic books before, so I don't know all the dimensions and weights and whatever that could affect what the shipping rates need to be. So Nick and I are going to get on that, and maybe let's just keep our fingers crossed that this time next week we'll be close to getting the Kickstarter started. Typically, they tell you after you submit it, they might take a week to approve them. But everyone that I've worked on, it always seems like they're approved within 24 to 48 hours. So that would be my hope there, is that maybe by next Tuesday we get it submitted, and then no photo cover. Marcus, that is a very good idea. We did not think of that at all. Darn it, Nick. That could have been humorous. But trust me, what we're doing already is good. I mean, you've seen. I still only have the roughs in here. I don't have the finished stuff, which is fine. But we did the giant size X-Men homage, and the one on the left was just something fun that I came up with. And then we also did the Avengers 4, and they're good. Anthony looks great. He doesn't look like Family Guy as he does here. He's very svelte, I think, and he's happy with how svelte he looks in the black and white piece that Mr. Hazer put together. But the artwork is fantastic, and I'm looking forward to doing that Kickstarter. And Nick's always been very gracious with his time, so looking forward for all that. So, you know what I've got? I've got a dramatic reading as well for everybody tonight before we get on with the calf update. But hey, wait a minute. You know what? I think before we do that, why don't I give everybody like 30 seconds? I know we had a whole bunch of people submit to the giveaway earlier, but I'll give you a few more. Here's a prod for those of you who are still here, because there's a lot more people here right now than earlier. We're doing a 5-hat giveaway for Dueling Dealers tonight. 5 winners will be selected. I'll pick a winner in the next 30 seconds, the first one. And all you have to do to be entered into the giveaway is to type the exclamation point and the word enter together and submit it in the chat, and you will be in the running for a free Dueling Dealers ball cap. I think I put them all in the other room. I don't even know if I've got one here to show off. Hang on. This will give you the 30 seconds. What do we got here? So, and by the way, I'm wearing my Cran Boys shirt tonight. As everybody knows, my friends in Ohio have their collector group called the Cran Boys. They gave me a couple shirts last year, so I wear them occasionally. But here is your Dueling Dealers baseball cap, wonderfully embroidered, and they are very nice, adjustable on the back. So these aren't cheap, and we'll be giving away 5 of these tonight. And let's see how many we got in here. Oh, okay, lots of people submitted. All right, so now we're around 45 people submitted. So again, I'm just going to pull how about I pull 2 right now? We'll do 2 right now and then 2 before the calf update. So let's see here. Let me go ahead and pick a winner. So it's going through, and Kelly Goon. Kelly, you got the IBA book a couple weeks ago, and now you've gotten a hat. And let's see here. Pick another one. NSN Art. All right. Well, there's my first 2 of 5. Kelly Goon and NSN Art. But continue. If you haven't already entered, you can enter into it. And in probably about another 10 minutes, we'll pick the other 3 before we get into the calf update. So it rigged, screams Brett Mixon. So yes, but Kelly and both and NSN, please email me so that and give me your mailing address so I have it. That way I can get these things in the mail right away. Don't forget. But hey, now I can do the dramatic reading. So Derek Crabb put together a Transformers dramatic reading, and it's very good. And I'm going to go ahead and switch over to that after I get rid of this little banner here. There you go here. And here we go. This is from Derek. I appreciate it, Derek. I think everybody will enjoy your, you did a great job on the voiceover.
Megatron Fate. Why did you want to talk to me? What's this all about?
People never stop changing, Rung. We're all of us works in progress. We're the sum of our experiences, even if we edit those experiences to suit selective memory, denial, post-justification. We rewrite history, our own history, to keep us sane, to stop us giving up every day we do it.
To think I'll never see you again. One more thing. One last thing. Because I don't say it enough.
Every day, little edits. Except sometimes it's not enough.
It's me. Bad news, he didn't bite. No, it's like Rodimus said before we left. It's like he's expecting to be provoked. So, what else do you have in mind?
Sometimes you look back on your life, on your life's work, and you realize that it's unsalvageable. And if you're brave enough, or desperate enough, you throw it all away and start again. On Luna 2, I threw it all away. And here, on this ship, I started again. A brand new autobiography. Same title, different words.
I'm ready for the next page, Derek. So thank you very much for putting that together. We haven't done a lot of those. I have to do one after Adam Law did those fantastic ones. I mean, I'm kicking myself that I haven't taken the opportunity to make one myself. But I will. I hope some other people choose to do them. They're fun. They're fun. I know that we can, I've got the green screen, so I know we can do some crazy stuff. I can put myself in the page, for crying out loud. So very true. Yeah, very, very true. Life advice to assemble by. But yes, thank you, Derek, for that. And again, anybody wants to do one, just if you wanted to pitch an idea or just do your own and send me the clip, I'm game. I'm happy to post and share anything that you guys submit. It'll be a standalone video on the channel in a few days. So congrats on getting that done for us, Derek. So why don't we keep this thing rolling along? I want to get to the CAF update tonight. So I'm going to go over and do the heritage piece. I'm sorry, this is not being on a Thursday. I'm not showing the EXP preview. So, I apologize to you, Nick. I did get the video, and then I realized I didn't need it because I wasn't doing my show on Thursday before you. But as everybody knows, I always, you got to tune in to Nick every day, every Thursday or Friday at 7 to 8 on the EXP channel. Yes, every Friday. I'm on Thursday at 9. Nick's on Friday at 7. But here, let me go and show off my 10 picks from Heritage this week. They're all pretty good, I'd say. I didn't get to look over all of Heritage auction lots this week, just because I only had today to look through what they were posting. So I just did some quick filters on some artists that I'm always interested in, and that was how I came up with this set from today. So let's see here. All right. First up, let's see if I can make the screen a little better there. This is a Valiant piece from '91 by Art Nichols, but maybe even more importantly, some awesome inks by Mr. Layton. So Magnus Robot Fighter. I mean, that was always a fun book. And I know that Nick has been showing off a lot of Bob's work. Bob just was such a great inker. I mean, a great penciler too, but he made everybody look great that he did inks on. So this is just a fun page, and again, Bob's inks on it help make it even more fun. I like this page. And we know the Valiant stuff is always going to be hot. There's not a lot of it out there, and there's a few collectors that are always after it. So let's take a look at this next piece. This is by Don Heck and Dick Ayers, Tales of Suspense 60. Just I wouldn't call it a nostalgia pick. It's just nice to see an early-ish page with Iron Man in those central panels, and it's fun. I mean, I really, I always love the continue after next page things, when they let you know there's going to be an ad or whatever on the next page. But the two central panels with Iron Man are the money shots in this piece for me. So really, really fun piece. And you get Heck and Ayers working together. Then another Valiant. I mean, somebody who had some Valiant art must have consigned their stuff to Heritage. This is a Barry Windsor Smith piece from Eternal Warrior 6. The cover artwork to that. I don't know if it's a variant cover or the primary cover, but again, I love, who doesn't love Windsor Smith's pencils? So, I mean, you can ogle over a great Wolverine drawing of his, or pretty much anything. I mean, again, his cross hatching is just phenomenal. And to me, this is a period of his work that I've always really enjoyed. And it's great. Really, really great. Whoever ends up getting this piece is going to be very happy. And I've never read Eternal Warrior at all. But again, love the art here. Then this somebody was mentioning Playboy earlier. That was Steve, right? Well, this was in Playboy magazine. It's an Al Jaffe complete 2-page story. It doesn't have it's not dated, but just fun stuff. Al Jaffe, who we all have seen his work one way or another over the years, and this is certainly a twist at the end. It starts off obviously, the guy on the beach getting kicked in the face with sand. He's scrawny and whatever, and he beefs himself up, and he ends up going off with the muscular guy at the end. So something you wouldn't normally see in Playboy too often, but it's it's a great gag, and it's pretty darn awesome art at the same time. So look at that thing; those are awesome. So that one's out there. Don't see that too often. Now this one, I really like this one. I think I'm going to be putting a few bids on this, because who doesn't like Chris Sprouse art? But then you get him on Tom Strong as well, a splash page from issue 12. I mean, look at this thing. This thing is gorgeous. As soon as I saw this one, I was like, oh shoot. Sometimes I look at stuff and I think I shouldn't probably, if I want to bid on something, maybe I shouldn't show it. But there's another piece later on as well. I always see it and I think that, and I'm like, whatever. I'm showing what I like, so I'm going to show it. But I really like this piece, and I'm sure it's going to do very well. I mean, there's so many of us out there who are fans of the stuff that they were doing in the Tom Strong books and that whole universe. So yeah, this will be a nice piece to pick up in the new year. And I picked up Russ Heath because we were just talking about Russ Heath after Steve did his flip. So, again, this is, what was this for? Star Spangled War Stories. It didn't have, it said unspecified issue, page 3. So they weren't too sure which book it was from, but, you get a great dogfight here in the last 3 panels. I mean, it's just good stuff. And I really, the second and third panel are what do it for me. I mean, that's just awesome. Guy ducking out of the way from the dogfight and the bullets coming right at him. So this is nice. I love the lettering on this page. Everything about it is really nice. And I think this is one of the other pages that I'm going to probably put some bids on. Then I got an Al Williamson Space Pirate. Who knows what it was done for? It's probably just looks like a commission-y kind of piece, but it's Al Williamson. It's gorgeous. I mean, I love the the tonal work in the back here. I mean, everything about it. Then there's also another Al Williamson piece, very similar. I think it was like written to Jeremy or something like that. So if your name's Jeremy, the other piece is equally as good. It's a Flash Gordon, I think, but I didn't pick that one because it said to Jeremy on it, so I picked this other one. Oh, sorry, my son's texting me. Let me turn that ringer off. So there's that one. Then we got just a couple more here. I agree, Nick. It is a great Williamson. I mean, I've been wanting to get a strip piece by him, but I see stuff like this, and it's like this would satisfy my my Williamson needs for just to get a piece like this for a while. It's gorgeous. Then we got this Dave Sim Gerhard Cerebus 158 splash. I mean, anything by the both of them is great. I mean, but then you get a splash page like that's as nice as this one is. Again, it's kind of, to me, it's like a unique piece. I don't think is it a little out of place in a weekly auction. I mean, it's just nice to see. I know that they've had other Cerebus pieces out there, but I think this one's pretty nice, and I think it's probably going to do very well. Should be in probably the top 10 in sales from Heritage's weekly stuff next week. But I like it. I like that one a lot. We've got 2 more here. DC Art again. Not the one I'm going to be bidding on, but this is Irv Novick and Dick Giordano from Batman 220. Just overall, just a great page. You see the Neil Adams kind of influences in the faces and whatnot. But I loved it. I loved it for the last panel. I thought, I looked at Batman's cape there, and I'm thinking, damn, that's a lot of work to draw it like that. I mean, so this whole piece is. And then after I marveled at the cape, then I realized how great the rest of the page was too. So this is a really nice page, and just for the cape alone, I mean, even the panel before that, just all that brushwork on the back of his cape there. I mean, that's details that again, we look at some artwork, and some artists wouldn't even be putting that kind of detail in there. I think it's gorgeous, and I'm not even a Batman fan, but I would love to own this page. I think it's really well done, and these top 3 panels are really well executed. Nice composition on all of them. You get the bat silhouette in that first panel too. I mean, what's not to love about all this? So very, very, very great page. And then this is the other one that I actually will bid on, because I love Lee Elias. I've yet to own anything by Lee Elias. I would prefer to get a war page by Lee Elias, but I will take I don't even remember what this is from. First Love Illustrated from 1951. So it's a 72-year-old page practically. But I just love Lee Elias's work. I mean, like this 3rd and 4th panel here. I mean, that's just gorgeous. I mean, it looks so clean. I mean, for a page that's over 70 years old, this thing looks in very good condition. Love the lettering on these. So yeah, I'm gonna bid on this one. I probably won't go high on it because I'd rather get a war page by Lee. But I just at this point, it's like I want to get an example. So it's either that or, well, I got to start somewhere. So I'll be trying to get this one as well. I'm trying to put that story together. What story are you talking about, Brett? I wasn't paying attention while I was showing the art. Let's see. But those are my 10 picks for this week, so I can go ahead and hide that screen. But a good selection of stuff. But there's a few, like I said, 3-4 pieces in this week's auction that I'm going to be putting some bids on. One of these days, I'm going to win an auction on Heritage. I've yet to get anything from them. Brett Mixon says that love story. You're not. Are you serious? You're trying to put that story together. That would be the one. All right. Well, oh, that's right. Peter, I have to agree with you. Other than a war story, I would take a Black Cat page by Lee Elias too, because those are awesome. And I've seen Berkey's had a few of those. I think he might even still have some. I should ask him about that. But I don't know. I think I'd still rather have the war page first, then I'd go for a Black Cat. But either one. But I'll happy to start at a Love Illustrated page as well. There you go. Jeff Wedding says Black Cat for sure. Yep, I agree. Mark Lee says he's putting together Nova 11. How many pages do you have, Mark, already? I don't even know. Do you have them in your calf? So hey, before we get the calf update in here, why don't I go ahead and pick the other 3 winners? And let me remind everybody who are still with me, if you want to get a Dueling Dealers ball cap, I'm going to draw 3 more people right now in the next minute here to get one of these. If your name gets drawn, just shoot me an email, bill@comicartfans.com, with your mailing address, and I will get those out to you next week. But you can't win if you don't type ! Enter in the chat. So, you got all but 4, says Mark. So there you go. Anybody who has a page from Nova 11, there's 4 more pages out there that Mark needs to complete that book. And if he completes it, I bet we could get Mark to do a weekly flip of that book if we could help him accomplish this. So if you're one of the people who have one of those last 4 pages from Nova 11, Mark Levy has wonderful feedback thanks to CAF, the Comic Art Live Con. I think the last time I checked, he had 6 or 7 positive feedbacks from that show. So he's definitely someone that you should should be encouraged. It will treat you well in a deal. So Nova 11, Mark Levy, look him up on the premium members list on CAF, and he'll be happy to take those last few pages from you. All right, so we're up to 52 people in the giveaway. So I'm gonna go ahead and pick the other 3 right now, and then I'll close this thing out. So our third winner is, who is it? Oh, it's Gerd Scheller. Thank you, Gerd, for entering, and don't forget to send me an email. And we got 2 more here. Southern Comic Geek. All right. Congratulations, Southern Comic Geek. Get me your mailing address as well. Don't delay. Don't wait till tomorrow. Do it tonight while it's still fresh in your memory. And our 5th winner is Ron Lim. Congratulations, Ron. All right. Well, there we go. That's our 5 winners for tonight. Kelly Goon, Ron Lim, NSN Art, Southern Comic Geek, and Gerd Scheller. So all of you, please email me tonight, bill@comicartfans.com, and I will get to, but again, mailing address, include that. I will get these out to you immediately, early next week. But like I say, I've been setting aside boxes so I can mail these out. I've got about 15 more hats. So I think, over the next couple months, I'll probably be able to give the rest of them away. But congrats to everybody. And again, Chris Nork says, come on, I need a hat. You are bald. And we're gonna see how bald in a few minutes here. But let me go hide this thing. All right. So thank you one and all for hanging out and doing that. So let's get this CAF update out of the way. I hate to say I only have 1 video for the, I'm not even sure which one I've got. Oh, I think I've only got the auction video. That was who my son texted me. He screwed things up a little bit on me by not doing the videos correctly. But we're going to go ahead and start the CAF update here. As everybody knows, we took a whole week off. So that 1 week is just gone. The market data reports are out there for that week, which was, I think, the 12th through the 18th. Colin was still writing the market reports during that period. So if you're curious about the sales during that window, those reports are still out there. But the week that I will mention those totals, but because it was a down week. I mean, it's a holiday week. Of course, we're talking about the 19th through the 25th. So everybody's down. I mean, nobody's selling a lot of stuff. I mean, everybody pulls their stuff off eBay and everything too. So for the dealers, they sold $127,000 of art. So not a lot, and that's down from the week before that was only at 229. So everything leading up mid-December. It's funny, a lot of I've been working with eBay for years, and everybody has that do what I do with them. Always have great Black Fridays through through Christmas, because they're selling whatever golf clubs and cameras and goofy stuff like that. But collectibles market, that's when people don't sell, right? But during the holidays, when people are spending their monies on gift related things, they don't spend money on collectibles too much. So it's the same thing we're seeing here. Dealers didn't have a great week, but Anthony did lead the charge, and I think he announced that on Wednesday's show as well. He had 68 sales, $35,000 total. Albert had 7 sales, $25,000. Felix had 1 sale for a complete book for $20,000. And what else? Ramita had 11 sales, $13,000, and Glenn from Panel Page had 7 sales, just over $12,000. And these are the ones that I don't have the video clip for, but I do have I can show you what the images were, because I did pull up. Where is that? Oh yeah, right here. So I'll just go ahead and make this nice and large. So first up, the top selling item for the week from Original Comic Art Dealers was the complete issue to Paper Girls issue 26 by Cliff Chang, and the asking price on this one was $20,000. This is, I believe, the cover image to that, and because Felix can only upload 1 piece of art for these types of things when he's setting them into market data. But great image. We all, I'm sure, love Cliff's work. Awesome guy. We had him on Comic Art Live in November, and he can do no wrong. I've known him for a long time. I love his work. Congrats on that sale. Then the next piece is from Wildcats issue 1 cover piece, and of course it is Jim Lee and Scott Williams, sold by Mr. Albert Moy. You can see he's got his watermark on there. This one sold for $12,000. That's almost cheap for a Jim Lee piece. How is that? I mean, that's incredible. If that was Batman and a cavalcade of villains, that would be $40,000 right there. So that's a steal at $12,000. Then what do we got next here? We got this one was posted, and somebody mentioned that the artwork had been sold earlier. This was a Harry Potter piece entitled "Love Is Love" by Jim Lee, and this one was priced at $10,000. I mean, so somebody was saying it had sold earlier in the year, and then somehow it's sold again. I mean, you never know what because the way we report on stuff is dealer marks something as sold in their admin, we report it as sold. So it's entirely possible that Albert sold the piece earlier. Maybe the guy wanted to kind of set it back into time payments, or maybe for some reason Albert reset it back to for sale, and then months later apparently then marked it as sold again, even though apparently maybe it sold and was in somebody's calf, or at least somebody had shown it off as theirs 7 months ago. And anything can happen in this hobby. Shoot, somebody could show it off 7 months ago, even though they put it on time payments for all we know, right? So at any rate, this piece did end up being in the reports twice, but nicely done. Nice pencil piece by Jim, and still, it's a nice work of art, regardless of how many times it ended up in our market data. Then next piece, this one was sold by Anthony, Mr. Miracle 13 cover. Lobo versus Mr. Miracle, of course. It's by Bruce Patterson and Joe Phillips. Asking price on this one was $4,500. So nice piece there. Then next up is this is by Anthony, sold by Anthony as well. Falling in Love. Holy mackerel! I didn't even look at this slide before. This is an incomplete. This is the opposite of a complete story. This is an incomplete 11 of 12 page story. So if you've got the other page to this one, this was a score. This is it was Love, Love, Go Away, Come Again Another Day. It sounds like something that Anthony would love to do in a dramatic reading with Sharon. Art on this one is by Warner Roth, with inks by Vince Coletta, and the price on this one was $4,000. So hey, that's less than $400 a page. That's not a bad deal. And last but not least, another Jim Lee Scott Williams piece, Superman Unchained. This one was not sold by Albert, though. This piece was sold by Tatiana, and this one was sold for $3,500. So there you go. Those are our top 6 sales from OA dealers over the holiday week. Brett has the 12th page of this one. Yeah, he may. That you never know who's got that one, but hopefully the person that bought it is the one who has the 12th page on there. So now we can talk about auctions. Auctions were pretty stable, surprisingly. The week before that when we weren't on $300,000 in sales, then over the holiday week, $297,000 in sales. So very, very similar. And again, that's it's about what we should expect here. But here, let me go ahead and show you the top 3 sales from eBay and the top 3 sales from Heritage. So, like I say, $297,394. We've got this great John Buscema Conan the Barbarian 139 cover. Always fun when you see something like this appear on eBay. Sold for $11,645. Then next up, we know who this seller is. This is the cover, sketchbook cover by Mike Mignola, Year of the Monster sketchbook. It was listed at $10,000, actually sold for a best offer of $7,500. And same seller, another Mignola Hellboy illustration. This was printed in something, I can't remember what, listed at $8,500, sold for $5,000 with a best offer from a buyer. Hopefully the same person got those two. Then these are over at Heritage. This is a Paul Ryan Ravage 2099 #1 cover, sold for $10,800. Then you got this. We featured this one, I think, a bit back. This was the Ross Andrew Mike Esposito Amazing Spider-Man 171 page, sold for $9,300. And then we've got a complete 12-page story by Tony DeZuniga. This is from Weird War Tales 22, sold for $7,500. And do not ask me to say Weird War Tales 5 times fast, because I won't be able to do it. So there you go. That is our auction update as well. And now I am joined by my good friend who needs a Dueling Dealers hat, Chris Thor. How are we doing? How was your holiday, Chris?
It was good. It was good. It was low key. It was fun. Saw the family. Yeah, no complaints.
Good. I'm glad to hear it. It's yeah. You look fresh. I mean, did you take time off too from work?
Yeah, this is the easiest week of the year for me. So nobody's at work this week, so I'm not at work this week either. And nobody's emailing me. It's not all piling up while I'm gone this week. So yeah, this is I don't shave. I don't do anything this week. It's incredible.
You shower though. You should do shower.
Obviously. Yes.
Just making sure. All right. You just had to show off the guns and the tats.
No, I was doing a smell check.
Okay, I know what you were doing. So that's good. Well, I'm glad. I was wondering. I figured it had to be pretty cold where you were at.
You know what? It has been unseasonably warm. It's spring-like here this week. It's crazy.
Jeez. Well, what was it like when that storm blew through, though?
It was record high yesterday. Record high. I want to say it was 48 degrees.
Wow. My mom told me it was 60 in Northeast Ohio.
I believe it. Yeah, it's it went from icebox to perfectly pleasant in the span of a week.
Very, very nice. Yeah. Hey, look, James has said you got a freshly waxed dome.
I wish this is stubbly, man.
Oh man! All right, so hey, why don't we take a look at what we've chosen to talk about tonight? Did you bother looking at during the prior week at all? I really wasn't.
I didn't.
Yeah.
I mean, I probably looked at CAF as much as I normally do, which is every day I would say, but not with the eye of not with the level of detail that I do when I'm going to do picks.
Well, I did the same thing. I mean, I kind of was like, I'm going to just coast this week. All right, here, let me pull this up here. I have too many windows again, but here we go. And I don't like us being over there. let's do it this way. All right. I'll try to resize the window a little bit here. Yeah, that's better. All right. So Brian Ketterer's Calf Gallery. This great Mike Zeck, John Beatty cap cover.
Yeah, everybody knows by now I'm a sucker for Mike Zeck and John Beatty. So, this is their not their peak period. Certainly, I think most people would say that that's Punisher, but they did an incredible cover run on Cap, along with some interiors in there too. But this is kind of I thought this was cool subject matter wise, because I don't think a lot of us think of this is almost Cap in Batman's territory, or like Cap in Spider-Man's territory, right? He's on this ledge, he's looking down over the city, it's dark out. But yeah, just a really cool cover by one of my favorite artists in this case.
Yeah, no, I as much as I like Punisher, I really like their Cap as well. I mean, it's great. And I love the detail in the building in the background. And you're right, it's definitely Cap out of place, right? But that kind of makes it fun. It makes you wonder. I'm sure, I have to believe that the artists and the editors are always thinking about what's going to sell a comic. So sometimes you got to put that character in an unpredictable spot. And this would make you wonder, well, what the hell is he doing?
What's he doing? Right.
Exactly. So no, but a great piece. I mean, it is. I love Zeck and Beatty together, and yeah, that's a good one. Congrats to Mr. Ketterer on this pickup.
Sure.
And switching over, who's Kafka? Okay, Billy Henson, member for 12 years, and let's take a look at this one. Amazing detail.
Yeah, so this is an artist. His name is Carlos de Armas. Obviously there's so much to talk about with the illustration itself here, but for me, I thought the concept of this was just so. I mean, it's so thoughtful and it's so clever. I mean, so Banner is here kind of in this like hall of Hulks. And you see he has a ball and chain on his ankle. He looks obviously, he's like wasting away. He's deep in thought. And then he's kind of like haunted by these looming statues of his, various alter egos over the years. So I just love the concept of this. But then, I mean, moving into the execution, CJ Design in the comments says it's like an etching, and that's exactly what it makes me think of. It's like Dürer or, a kind of a German like woodcut or like linograph like image that we would see.
Yeah. No, I mean it is. It's phenomenal. I mean, there's when I didn't see this one until you picked it. I don't know how I missed it, but I thought the same things. It's like an etching. It's like when you do the like those aluminum plates and you hand scratch them and just keep working the ink into them. Yeah. And you never know what you're going to get when you finally print it, by rubbing the ink in. And this has that feeling because the way the statues kind of come at you, they're so on an even tone, that it's just so interestingly done. And then you get the little origin bit in the back in the stained glass window.
Yep.
I didn't even bother to read. I don't know if there was a description on this, as far as I'm assuming it was a commission, right? But
it's a commission, yeah.
I'll have to go back and read. Was how much direction did they give? Or let's see. I asked Carlos de Armas for Bruce Banner sitting on a throne with columns leading up to the throne featuring statues. So wow, he told him what he wanted, and he got it in spades. Wow,
I'm very impressed by the conceptualizing that was done between the two. It's rare when I think you see a commissioner and an artist come through like this as a unit. Yeah.
Nope. I completely agree. I mean, that you would think you'd pitch an idea like that and either it would scare somebody away or you may not get something as amazing as this, but wow.
The artist has there's a few pieces of his that have popped up in the last few weeks, and I highly encourage people to search him on CAF because there are some absolute humdingers out there right now by this guy.
Is he published? I mean, what's he doing? I mean, I've seen the name before, but I don't remember from what.
He's newish, but like ML got an amazing Sandman and
that's right.
Yeah, right there, which I picked, and then I saw this, and I was like, "Sorry, ML, this Hulk image is coming up."
Well, I see what you mean. I mean, my goodness. Oh wow, look at even that Alan Moore, a couple of Alan Moores. Wow, dang, yeah, his stuff is great. Huh. All right. Well, I'm gonna set that tab aside and do some research. But yeah, I saw the piece by ML as well. It was on my maybe list, and it didn't make the cut. But it's a gorgeous piece. But congrats to Billy Henson on that pickup. That's a fantastic artwork. Let's see, who's this one? Adam Pritchard, new, relatively new member to CAF. Been on the site for just under a year.
And helped me out here because he posted a better scan.
Again, did you ask?
There was a cell phone image, and I messaged, and he kindly obliged. So this is a much nicer image than was originally up when I knew I wanted to originally to feature this piece.
That's good. You're doing God's work here on CAF.
I'm trying one piece at a time, as Johnny Cash would say. So it's so rare and so cool to see traditional art by Pepe Larraz, which is the real reason I picked this. Also, I thought it was cool because I guess I've never seen, there's got to be other stuff out there, but I've never seen him work on Star Wars characters. So I thought that was cool too. What to say about the art? I love the composition. I think the mirror dual image with the crouching character in the front there is very cool. I love the way he put the group in the group shot together, and then the force perspective is also just awesome.
Oh yeah, and you just get enough classic, Star Wars interior things in it, and it just makes for a really great piece. I agree. I was going to say the same thing. I love the way he's organized the characters in the group shot there. Just really nice. The perspectives on it's great, and yeah, it's gorgeous.
People that can do this, I mean, this is like I can do a team book, right? And that's pretty much where you see Pepe working. So I think that's awesome.
So there you go. Bootlegging is a habit. Says I ordered a scanner this week, so I might actually have a shot of getting picked in 2023.
Look out!
And I'll tell you, scanning. I get more people tell me they want us to do a scanning overview for one of the CAF U's. Which those of us who scanned a lot, we just don't think too much about it. But I think once I get my office just a little bit more cleaned up, I think I might go ahead and just explain what my scanner is, and kind of just do a walkthrough, and maybe we can convert people to stop using their phones and paying a little extra. They're not that expensive to get a decent scanner, so that we
can still also go to Staples or whatever and have them scan it for you. I mean, they have large format scanners. It's like a couple bucks. It's so worth it to you bought the art. You went to the trouble of putting it on CAF, just have it be right. Have it look good.
Completely agree. And I love Jeff Wedding's The Force Perspective. And earlier Marcus threw one out there to ML, that ML got CAF blocked.
He did, by both of us this week.
By both of us. Yes, exactly. Sorry, Mikhail. But yeah, nice pickup here, and we'll get the like on that one, and moving over to the next one. This one was in I think it was Sideshow Bob's CAF, right? Yep, there you go. Look, and he's got 3 positive feedbacks already, everybody.
What a bunch.
Yes, exactly. So this is by Tom Coker, and this is a commission piece, I believe.
I picked this because of how arresting it was. This is one of those where the thumbnail just snagged me, and I was like, I gotta look at this. So I love the creepiness of the image. It's got a definite a mood. It's also, I think it's so cool that Mammon is symbolic of greed, and so for him to be checking the old school stock ticker, I think is so cool. The little touch, the upside down American flag pin, I think is so cool. But this is a contrast, pick as well. And then, I'm a sucker for anybody who can really crosshatch. So the crosshatching on the horns, I think is terrific in this piece. And then I love the shiny, splattery kind of effect he did off of the top of the glass dome on the stock ticker.
I was going to say the same thing for his as maybe as interesting and although muted, a lot of the tones are. I love that little bit on the glass effect too, right? The
Mhm.
reflection is just pretty, kind of makes the piece for me. As much as I like everything else, I just feel like that kind of just adds a little, extra bit of interest in this already super interesting piece. But
Yeah.
it's great. Colin mentions as well, dealers should provide nice scans with each purchase. They
A
should.
lot of them do. If you ask, if you say,
They-
"Hey, will you send me a scan after you buy it?" Many of them will.
That is true. And I actually came up with this. I'm like, how did it take me 20 years to come up with this idea? I won't go into detail, but I came up with a thought on how to get people to get their stuff transferred over to CAF from a dealer purchase. If I work with them, of course. But it made me, because I was, well, I'm not going to go there. I'll talk about it after I get Maureen's approval. But she actually was like, yeah, why haven't we done that? So. Just one of those things, but yeah, nice pickup here. And Sideshow Bob has a great CAF gallery full of wonderful art. If you haven't checked it out recently, you certainly should. Already get the like on that one. So next up, I love this piece.
Isn't it great?
Oh yeah, this is awesome. I mean, your favorite, like one of the best scenes from the flick, and this is it's just so awesome. I love it.
Yeah. I mean, it's a title page too, which I know you're a big fan of. So, Tyrell Cannon, who is kind of, I think he's kind of local to me. I think he's in Northern Illinois, like Chicagoland area. I know he kind of is buddies with Daniel Warren Johnson. So I don't see Daniel Warren Johnson in this, which I think is cool because, it would be easy to kind of go there, especially with the theme, like aliens. Like that's a definitely well-worn territory for him. Sure. But I think this is so cool that I think this was like his Inktober. Basically, he was like, I'm going to do a mini comic of aliens. So love the facial expressions. I mean, I think the way he kind of like reshot the sequence in essence, to illustrate it. Like he didn't just do a frame for frame adaptation of the movie. Is really cool, and I love the way the page is put together.
Yeah, no, the layout of the 3 panels is great. Really, really well done. But see, now this one, you can tell this is a photograph. It's not a scan. Since we're talking about it, because you can see like in this corner here, it's a little out of focus, blurry. Right? Mm-hmm. Yeah, and then it gets in focus in the center and pretty much stays in focus down to here. And that's all we're talking about. We're not being critical of it. I mean, I want to see the art, irrespective of how we end up getting it here. But a nice scan of this, then this whole panel would be a little bit sharper for us now. I mean, it's still a great piece of art. I mean, this was a piece that I had looked at as well, and so having seen you pick it, I moved on and didn't use it. But I love the panel layout. I love the silhouette of the claw there. I mean, everything about it was pretty darn awesome. Yeah. And let's see what Daniel Burtis mentions, that Tatiana sent me a really nice scan of a Superman page that was posted, and they don't own a scanner. It's like, yeah, we get it. I mean, scanners take up space in your home if you don't have space for them. So it's not a requirement. It's just a request that we make. And and as you can see, we don't pick art necessarily exclusively based on whether it's scanned well or not.
No, I'll tell you, the only time I ask someone is if they can get a scan of it is if the photo is so bad that it's to the point where it's like, this just isn't going to look right when we discuss it. Like, we're looking at it right now. And, in fairness, like people have said like, no, I can't. And then like, I'll still pick it. Right. It just doesn't it's not, the experience isn't as good. That's the bottom line.
Agreed. And Nick, if you're still here, have a great new year as well. Thank you for all that you've done for us on our channel and on your channel and for the entire hobby for the last year. You've done a wonderful job promoting it, and I look forward to working more with you in 2023. So have a wonderful night. Thanks for tuning in as always. Let's see.
Is this Riddle's piece? I'm sorry.
Oh, what's that?
Is that Grant Riddle's piece?
Oh, yes, it was Grant Riddle.
He says, stuff your scans in a sack. Riddle, mail your art to me and I'll scan it and send it back, buddy. I promise.
Sorry, Grant. We're not being critical of this.
I am. Screw you.
He is a hey, I get it. I get it. But Grant, congrats on this. That's funny. I didn't even check to see who owned the art. But Grant, you got a 6 feedback already too. That's awesome. Okay, Richard Pace, The Thing. I don't know what made you pick The Thing.
I'll in all seriousness, I'm trying not to do this every week. And then I'm like, I'm not gonna pick a thing piece this week. And then blam, something like this gets posted. I'm like, I gotta pick that. I just think this is so cool. I love how characterful it is. I love that he's clearly got his own take on the character, which is one of the things that I love the most about the thing in the first place, is that the character design lends itself to people kind of doing their own thing, no pun intended. But after it came out, it felt intended, didn't it?
Yeah. No.
Anyway, I love the eyebrow ridge. Pace is such a phenomenal inker. I think of it mostly as an inker, so no surprise that the inking is so good on this. But yeah, it's a cool thing image. That's the bottom line.
Yeah, he's got a very nice pineapple shirt on. I mean, everything about it, it's fun. I liked it. I mean, I don't think I did not see it until you posted it to me. But yeah, it's great. I mean, and I love the kind of reverse, line work done down here at the bottom. I mean, it's a fun piece.
Yep.
Poker night, says Marcus. Yes, exactly.
Smoking a stogie, love it.
I've never smoked a stogie. We had that when the frost happened. It actually got under 32 here, right? And I'm up in Ohio, so I had one of the neighbors. They were like, "Oh, we'll go wrap your." Because everything's outside, right? The water tank and all the outside plumbing, it's just dumb, right? I mean, they put it out in the middle of the yard, and he's like, "I'm gonna go over and wrap your well for you so that it doesn't, you don't have any damage or anything." I'm like, well, okay, what can I give you? What do you want? It's Christmas. What do you want? He's like, fix me some coffee and buy me a cigar, and we'll sit out on your back porch, and
there you go.
And I'm like. I said I'd do it, but I'm like, I've never smoked a cigar in my life. So.
I can't say that. I can't even say I haven't smoked a cigar this week.
No, but I said I'll try. I said, okay, I'll figure something out. But I thought that was funny. That's all he wanted. He didn't want any money. He didn't want me to buy him a bottle of wine. He just wanted me to brew some coffee and give him a cigar.
I like that.
Yeah. Hey, I'm going to find a way to make it work.
All right.
So we got a Jose Delbo piece here, and this is in somebody who's called themselves Horror Fan on CAF. Let's go to the larger image here. That's really look at the detail in the buildings back here. Look at, those bricks are crazy. Holy
crazy
mackerel.
bricks. Yeah, the Spectre I think is so cool because it's almost like it encourages people to do kind of like wacky panel layouts and like really stretch. You do see a lot of the first panel in these Silver Age issues or late Silver Age issues of Spectre where it's like the looming kind of visage and then there's some other stuff going on, like he's observing what's happening. You get a lot of these shots where he's ghosting around and so yeah, I think this is really cool for a bunch of different reasons. One is that it's got these cool very Spectre specific elements. Like that last panel, Spectre's kind of a framing device, right? In that last panel, which I think is really clever and fun. And but just honestly, the level of detail that's in this illustration from Delbo is phenomenal. Look at how he individually rendered the coins in the cash register. Stuff like that, where it's just kind of like what you alluded to earlier. It's like, why would you go to these lengths? But he did. And those bricks, look at how little they are.
I know. That's just, and what year? I mean, this has got to be,
I'm going to say 67, 68, maybe.
I was thinking the same thing, like mid to late 60s.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's gorgeous. I mean, the amount of detail in here, and I mean, even drawing this character over and over again, right, around the sleeping figure. I mean, today we could have statted it or done something else. I mean, there's a lot of effort put into this piece.
Right, drawn it once and then cloned it in Photoshop and faded the edges and right, exactly.
Yeah, no, this is yeah, I totally looked this one over. I should have looked at the detail on it. It's great. Well, horror and Rick mentioned that Horror Fan has a killer calf gallery, so I'm going to check it out. I don't. Maybe they had a different name at some point, but I don't recall ever being in their calf before. So
I will too. Yeah, I think that's one of the things that's so cool about the Spectre is he does bridge that more effectively than a lot of characters. Bridges that like horror to superhero gap.
Agree with you there. Let's get a like on this one. Let's see whose calf was this. Edu Zavi Segura. I don't think I've ever been in their calf gallery before.
All right.
But we got a Star Wars piece. Oh, see, I didn't even look at the detail on this one. This is pretty cool. Luca Pizzari.
Yeah. So Luca Pizzari, I this has kind of like a a Rizzo, Eduardo Rizzo element to it for sure. I picked it because it reminded me. It was almost like Boba Fett was starring in like an was featured in an issue of like Creepy or Eerie. This has like a Warren cover feel to it, like for one of those magazines that I just thought was so cool and not something that I would think of with a Star Wars character. And especially when you throw in like the stormtrooper helmets like tied to his belt, it really reminds me of something that you would see in one of those Warren like sci-fi or horror mags.
Yeah. I didn't notice Yoda when I first looked at it. So no, this is pretty. I like it, and I completely agree with you. It does. I see in the blacks. I see some of the Rizzo stuff. Maybe not in that in the rock work around underneath the spaceship, but everything else.
But the figure for sure.
Figure definitely, and the ship. Yeah, but no, it's cool. It's definitely. What was this piece? Is it commission piece again? Yeah. Very interesting. I'm gonna have to check out again. This is another calf member who's been on there. He or she's been there for 11 years, and I don't recognize the name. So I'm wondering again, did they change their name? I'm gonna check their calf gallery out now too.
One of the cool things about doing this is I see I see so much art, but two, I see people's galleries that I've never run across before.
Right. I mean, and it's funny because you'd think that either of those names would stand out to me in in that updated list, and I feel like I've never seen either one of them. I mean, Dark Phoenix is here, right? We've had Dark Phoenix on the show before. I know who she is, and but those names I've just never seen. So here is something in Eric Rose's calf gallery, and I'm not familiar with this artist either.
Edward Kinsella. So you'll see more of this kind of stuff. So like Criterion covers for DVDs and stuff like that. So this is obviously a movie poster-esque composition, but I loved the use of type in this piece. For me, the type is definitely the star. I also thought the design on this is incredible. I mean, one, he's morphed the type basically to be a part of the figure or kind of on top of the figure in this case, but where the artist chose to, I guess, accentuate the figure or even bother to show the figure, versus what's popped out over the background, basically, I think they made such cool choices stylistically.
Yeah, this is okay, mixed media. I'm just curious because it looks like a lot of pencil and some ink as well. Yeah, no, it's a gorgeous work of art without question, and I love the fact that the lettering kind of is whatever a cloak or coat out, to give you the hint of the shape, because without it, it's meaningless. So we always. I don't know. I do marvel at artists who think about type and where it's going to fall on a page, but this is a very unique piece, and it says it's for a poster illustration. It just feels like that. It feels like a really well done piece of marketing material. So yeah, it's very, very cool. And is Kinsella somebody who has other artwork on the site? I'm not even.
I think so.
Yeah, here's a few. Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting.
It's, like I said, it's kind of reminds me of, I guess, of like we would think of maybe Jeffrey Allen Love kind of in this category.
Sure. Yeah. Cool. No, very
like
cool.
Fine art. It's fine art-ish for sure.
Yeah, I like it. The artwork that Mr. Fish added to his calf gallery.
So once in a while, I feel like I know someone, and then they add something to their calf gallery, and I'm like, wow, okay, I didn't think person X was capable of this type of achievement or this level of the game. But Fish really, man, what can you say about this? I mean, this is just for guys my age, this is a very, very important piece of art.
Oh yeah, without question. I mean, this would have been my pick as well if you hadn't have done it. But it's just got everything you want in it. I mean, it's a beautiful Jim Lee piece. It's got Orzechowski lettering. Yeah, no, I was blown away. I mean, it's a little cosmic, so like, maybe that's part of it. But at the end of the day, I mean, you're right. That we've got too many people moving into the X-Men world these days that have good taste and
and funds, I guess.
Yes, exactly. Because this is it's just it's gorgeous. I mean, I loved it the moment I saw it too, and it would have been mine. I kind of set it aside, but you took it, so I was happy to let you have it and move on to other pieces.
Well, I'll be completely transparent and tell you that the reason that not the whole reason that I picked this, but the reason that I knew I had to pick it was because when Fish posts something that is of this caliber or this ilk, and I don't feature it, I hear about it. I don't want to hear about it. I dearly, dearly love this. I'm not saying I picked it just to not get berated, but that was part of it.
Yeah, no, I get it. I mean, I get, I don't, not every week, but I get emails from people, when I don't pick something, or they're curious why I wasn't one of the ones. And it's things like what we talked about with Mikhail earlier happen a lot. It's like, well, sometimes you're on the fence for different reasons and you end up picking something different, even if it's very similar. I mean, I do that all the time when I'm like picking the heritage picks and whatnot. It's like, oh, well, there's a better one, or there's one, I like this one more, even though it may not sell for as much as the other one. There's a reason why I'm picking that one. So yeah, it's all subjective at the end of the day, but
this was an easy pick though. I mean, this is the only time when I was earnestly interested or reading X-Men. Jim Lee brought me to X-Men. Jim Lee brought me to the Punisher. Jim Lee brought me to, I basically Wildcats, like you name it, whatever he was drawing, I was going to be reading. So,
All right. Well, I don't disagree with this pick at all. So let me get my like on that one, and we'll go ahead and switch over to my picks here.
I'm interested to see what you came up with this week, because it was feast and famine. There would be like 2 days with nothing, and then there would be a day where it was like I could make all my picks from Wednesday.
Right. Yeah, they kind of came in bunches for me as well. But I didn't. I really fine tuned everything this morning. Just it took me a little while, but so I picked this Nick Klein Moon Knight. It's an annual cover. It's from this year, and I forget whose calf gallery this was in now. Oh, Bill J. I mean, Bill's got. I could almost say the same thing. I think I know Bill J's tastes, and from being in his calf gallery, the Scott Wingo approach to knowing what a collector likes or doesn't like. And so for one, I mean, I love the piece, but then I was surprised that it was in Bill's calf gallery. So I guess kind of like with Fish for you, you think you know somebody, and then they have a piece that just blows you away, and it's just not what you were expecting. I mean, I would have picked this piece regardless of whose calf gallery it was in. I just love the lighting on it, and then the perspective on it. I'm always going to be a sucker for a city scene I thought the bricks are, I love just like the exact opposite of the bricks we were looking at earlier. I mean, these are just like reference, but they're still all in there. I just love the way it's drawn. I love the mortar between the bricks. I love the AC unit, but I mean, I definitely love the way the lighting on Moon Knight. I just thought it was, it's so well done, and it's funny, you got because the moon's behind him. I mean, in many ways, it should be exactly the opposite. So, but right. He's lit from below.
He's self-luminescent.
Yeah, I mean, it's awesome. I mean, I this was kind of one of my first picks. I knew immediately this was going to be in my list. So, nice to see it in Bill's calf gallery, and a great piece by Nick Klein.
Gorgeous.
Then and so here was one. Ed McGuinness and let's see, Jason Martin inks. This is a Wizard cover. I had pre-selected that other McGuinness piece, that Christmas piece that I think was in Paul Pappas's I might be wrong on that.
The DPS.
Yeah, the DPS, right? I picked that one first, and then I came across this one, and I thought, I compared the two, and I just was like, I like the transformation scene, but the other, I was kind of picking the other one because it was Christmas themed, and it was great, but I just like the transformation on this piece. I love the scale, that you've got the puny banner, and you've got just gigantic as all get out
Hulking Hulk.
Right. I mean, it's just crazy, and so yeah, I love this. So I happily turn the other one down and switch to this one, even though, and again, this one is in Jamo's, right? It's in Jamo Nazar's calf gallery. Somebody who I really need to get on the show. I'd love to chat with him about his art collection, but it's not a large scan. He's not a premium member, but you could just see that this is such an interesting piece. I'd love to see it in person. I just thought it's inked really well.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I think Jason Martin is a cool, I guess a cool aspect of this piece, because he's done a fair bit of McGinnis, but nowadays, I mean, it's just not the artist that you associate with Ed, right? It's normally Dexter or
right,
even Morales. So this does have a little different flavor because of who inked it, which I think is cool.
Yeah, no, again, the more I'm looking at it, the more I really like it. I mean, I see like classic Michael Golden inking in here in this style and everything. There's just some cool stuff going on in there, because a lot of times when you do the transformation scenes, it's not so crisp, right? It's you kind of get these moments of where they're not really well, completely drawn out,
heavy shadow.
But here, this thing is like they're not hiding anything, between these four versions of Banner. So yeah, this was a great pick for me, I felt.
Yeah.
Let's see. Now, whose calf was this? Oh, Rick Whitelock. And he posted a lot of stuff this last week. And so I knew I wanted to pick one piece. And it took a while to kind of go through it again. The smaller scans. But this one, I like the fact that it was Kirby Sinnott, #1. And it's from the Surfer graphic novel. And just kind of a fun, it's like what I love most about Kirby. The characters look kind of stiff, but it's the way I love them. And it's Surfer, for crying out loud. That third panel, Surfer looks awesome, but he's surfing right through a city, city streets. I just thought it was just a fun piece. And again, I probably could have picked 3 or 4 other pieces that Rick posted this week, but this was really my favorite.
Yeah, me too. Yeah, and it came down to the one that I thought about picking had the thing on it, and I was like, well, should I be that guy again? And so I just didn't.
Marcus says Bill likes some stiff. Thank you, Marcus. Oh boy, I can't wait till we have the Art Throbs and what was the name? The Legion of Dr. Doom. That's gonna.
You're gonna need to run that one on a 5-second delay, I think. So you can drop them out.
Right, exactly.
Have Gwen there with a button that mutes them.
We'll have to come up with something. But yeah. Anyway, I thought this was a great one piece, and I was impressed. I mean, here was a guy who I don't even know. Let's see, how long has he been on CAF? So not too long, 4 years. But
big Surfer fan, I know that.
Yeah, but definitely got into must either just got the bug, right, get some art on CAF and posted a lot of art in that span. This is in Kavi's CAF gallery, of course. John Paul Leon. I didn't even read, what was it? I didn't even check to see what it was. Die Hard Year One.
John McClane.
John McClane. I know. Well, now I know.
But in uniform.
Yes. What is this? The thing that was written by Chaykin? I wonder. Because I
think that might be.
That's funny. I'll have to ask Howard about that, because I talked to him about. I was like, "Hey, I should have ran my story back by you. I didn't know you wrote for John McClane." But this everything you love about John Paul Leon in this piece. I mean, his light to darks. I mean, just everything. The art just speaks for itself. I love the fact that he uses so much black and stuff, and he's not afraid to. It's like I don't know, if I was to be working on that, the girders and things back there, it would just be a big blobby mess. But
you'd flip flop it. right?
Right, exactly. And yet
The
he works at
detail
this.
will be on the figure, the character, like whatever, not on the like cool architectural stuff in the background on the car.
Mm-hmm.
But that's
Right.
that's the choices that he honestly most often makes, I feel like, which is one of the reasons that he has like I mean, when you're looking at his art.
Right. Right. No, I mean, I love this piece. I didn't, and again, I can't say I think I know what Kavi collects, but it kind of threw me. I was like, oh, that's cool. I mean, as far as an illustration, it's gorgeous. And you're right. It's funny. He's put far more emphasis on everything around the lead character than, that's love it.
But it's interesting what it does to the visual impact, right?
Mhm.
Because it does, in a weird way, make the figure more impactful. That it's more high contrast and it's very graphic.
Yeah. Interesting choice of I mean, that's
what I would've
okay.
done.
Yeah, I mean, but anyways, gorgeous piece, Kavi. Congrats on this one, man. It's amazing, and I'm glad it's in your collection because this is awesome.
Yeah, I feel like if you can add a JPL, you should.
Yeah, and I've been looking too, and it's funny. They're still when they come up, they're not they are relatively
They're not crazy.
affordable. No, not at all. I just haven't found the right piece yet.
Same.
But I'm looking. I mean, we're not the only ones. I'm sure.
My brother actually has one that I periodically try to buy from him, but he's yet to let it go.
Well, but at least you have a line on
There's one in the family. Yeah.
Right. Okay, so this is the piece from Arango that we actually saw earlier, and I wasn't familiar with Stephen Defendini, but the thing is, I without even really knowing when I saw the thumbnail, I was just kind of struck by the choice of colors in it, and I just was like, wow, this is really cool. And so looking at it now, I just love. It's so painterly and nice detail in it. It's just a fun piece. I mean, I'm looking at it now. It's like I really appreciate it. It's kind of it's more of like a Brereton approach to colors and figure work than I think like maybe like an Alex Ross or something.
Yeah, I mean, it's not right. It's not that like slavish realism, are there like? Am I crazy? Are there pastels like colored pencils in here too?
Let's see. He only lists acrylic, but you're right though. It does
effects where
but it could be dry brush or something like in the costume here. But so again, it's really nicely done. I mean, I mean, we saw it in the portfolio. I don't know if he mentions the size of it, but again, it's just a really cool piece. And again, love the color choices in this piece. So yeah, well, the more I look at it, the more I like it. It was a commission. Okay. Well, congrats on that one, Arango. Gets plugged twice tonight in the show. So then we get this piece in Rob Pastella's Calf Gallery, Kent Williams. I mean, I love everything that Kent Williams does. This piece is, I love the fact, again, this is a wonderful scan of the piece, right? I mean, you get to see the detail in here. No one draws, no one works like this to me. It's like when I see a Kent Williams piece, it's just, I mean, just look at the way he kind of blends the colors in here. It's just so subtle, leaving a lot of the page color or the white or whatever. I mean, it looks like he's probably done a lot of underpainting on this one. But again, it's just awesome. I love it. I was taken by the limited palette in this piece.
Yeah, I think it's cool because it makes the itty bitty amount of red on Robin's tunic really stand out. Yeah, I mean, it's stylistically speaking, it's certainly not your run of the mill interpretation of Batman and Robin, but
right.
As as an illustrator, you can't take anything away from Kent Williams. He's incredible. Agreed.
Yeah, I like this piece. So, and Rob's, as everybody knows, has an incredible collection, wonderful eye. I mean, he's more great art has passed through Rob's hands than will probably ever pass through both our hands together, Chris. I mean, in our time in the hobby. So, yeah. I mean,
Absolutely.
I love everything that Rob just. It's cool, because he's been in the hobby for a very long time and has seen a lot and owned a lot and sold a lot. And I don't know, people like him in the hobby are like rock stars to me because they've really been able. And he's curated some shows, I think, for the Illustration House in New York. So he's been a good person to represent the hobby as well throughout the time that he's been collecting too. So yep, congrats on that, Rob. And then this was the piece, of course, I picked for the show graphic. This was in Benno's Calf Gallery, a recreation from that Marvel Fanfare cover. I didn't even really go back to look and see because he talked about there being differences in it. But I mean, who doesn't love this piece in general? And I mean, the original, but then to see a cool recreation that's done currently by Russell. I mean, just
I almost think it's better.
In a way, I thought in my mind this was better as well. But I mean, look at it; it's just so. It's everything you love about P. Craig Russell. I mean, he was drawn like this in the 70s, and it's just cool to see his same style. I know I've talked about it before. How he still has that same flair that he had 50 years ago, and
line weights. I mean, the tints that he uses. I mean, it's hard to even call them paints, right? Because they're so transparent. And his design sense is just, I mean, otherworldly, I guess is the way to put it, literally in these cases, because like, look at the, the creatures that he's come up with. And I mean, just what a vivid imagination he has.
Yeah. I mean, that tree, I mean, everything again, I love it. And Benno's, we know Benno and his collection. He loves color pieces. I mean, he's got a very varied set of tastes. But this just fits perfectly into the things that he collects, and stylistically, it's gorgeous. So congrats to Benno for adding you say adding, it's like for getting somebody like Russell to do this. Put another wonderful piece of art out there. It's like that Hulk piece that you picked, right? We're so fortunate that artists have taken up these commission opportunities to create these amazing pieces of art that are out there now for generations to come. I mean,
we all benefit.
Yeah, we really do. Everybody wins from this, and I'm just so grateful to see pieces like this make it into our into the hobby and wind up on CAF.
Yeah, well said.
So here is this is Eric Canetti. And who's CAF Gallery? Jason Husa, of course. When I saw this piece, I was smitten by the background, and because we know he's drawing buildings, right? But to me, he's drawing these funky, action kind of
squiggles,
right? I don't even know what to call them, because
geometric squiggles.
I love the background almost more than I love Spider-Man in it, and because I look at the background, then I look at Spider-Man. But it is. I mean, I have never seen anything done quite like that, unless because it's so geometric, right? Uh-huh. But it's funny. It's so geometric when you saw it as a thumbnail, and even when you first look at it. But then you go into it, and it's like it is really kind of loose.
But if you squint a little bit, you know exactly what you're looking at, right?
Right.
It's a high-rise building, and those are all the lights that are on the windows. I mean, it's like a beautiful visual shortcut.
Mm-hmm. But it's that pattern, though. I mean, I'm looking at it now, and I'm still just blown away. It just had to happen so naturally. I know Eric. He kind of has a kind of kinetic style to his drawing, but this piece, I mean, the more I'm looking at it, the more I'm blown away by that background. I've just never felt that kind of energy in a piece like that. And this was like a no-brainer. When I saw this one, I'm like, I'm keeping this one, because it has to be in my set unless Chris picks it. So I'm glad you didn't. But,
I mean, Eric Canetti is a slam dunk for me normally. One of the very, very literal handful of artists that I have more than one piece by. And to me, he's such a clever designer and the design of this piece is no exception. I mean, the foot being on the web and the web's going up like this, and then the building basically like being wedged into that same wedge, and then the figure taking up that entire same space, and then the negative space at the bottom really adding to the so much to the overall composition. He's just such a clever designer. I love it.
Yeah. Well, I'm jealous of Mr. Huza on this piece, because it again, I love it. I think I'll probably come back to this piece numerous times, because I mean, I even love his approach to the way he drew the mask on Spider-Man. I mean, it's just so unique, his approach here. So I won't dwell on it anymore. So next up, this is in Matt Moore's Calf Gallery, if I'm not mistaken. Yes, Matt's Calf Gallery. So, Matt loves Brian Bolland, and as many of us
as
do
he
as
should.
well. Yes, exactly. And he's got several Bolland prelims in his Calf Gallery. And I saw this one. I just love I love the composition on this. I don't know if this is a final image for the piece or not. I know it's a lot of times with the Bolland prelims, they aren't, a lot of the ones that are out there aren't identical. They're close, but they're not identical to what the published piece ended up being. But I love this one. Again, it's a small figure of Batman. A lot of attention to detail on the architecture. I love the fact that the Batman's cape was going to be coming behind the logo. I really just appreciated this piece a lot. And again, I have no idea if it's what the published piece ended up looking like, but I like the way he was approaching it. It's just unique, and it's so. I don't know. I've always wanted a Bolland cover prelim. I've never found quite the right one, because I'm not a DC guy. So it's like I've seen a few Wonder Woman ones, and I'm like, no, I'm not going to do it. And I've seen a few. It's just it's hard to find the right one. You're going to spend a couple grand on them, but this one is nice. If I would have seen this one, I would have probably picked this one up.
I would, Bill, I find myself in the same predicament to some extent, because I too, really want something from Bolland. And I think where I'm at with it is, if somebody had told me 20 years ago, you can get in a napkin that Picasso drew on, would you care what was on the napkin?
Okay, you're absolutely right. Now you're making me feel like, well, it's like back to my Leah Elias analogy, right? I'll be happy to take a romance page if I can't get a cat or a war story. I should look at the Bollands and just say the same thing. All right, it doesn't matter, how Wonder Woman is drawn in it or what it's from. It's a Bolland. It doesn't matter.
Yep. This is off the desk of the master.
Right. All right. When you put it like that, I shouldn't see that.
I'll be your art counselor, Bill.
Well, speaking of that, I'll tell you, I actually bought a piece of art before the show tonight.
Ooh.
And it's something that I've looked at for years. It's been like 3 years. It's been on this person's website, and it's not anybody it's not a name that seller or artist that people are going to be familiar with, but it's a piece that I've always wanted. And I was talking with Nick, I think right before Christmas, and I told him about it. He's like, "Just buy it. What are you waiting for?
Yeah.
Why are you looking at And then he's like, "How much is it?" And I told him the price. He's like, "What are you waiting for?"
Well, it's easy for Baruchi to say, right?
I know. Well, it was, but I think it was the shipping that got me, because it's overseas. When I thought about buying it last year, and then I was just like, then it went up on sale, like Christmas sale again this year, and I'm like, God, this is killing me, because it's from something. I can't wait. I won't give any of it away, because it's got a good story for me. But it's from a book that was one of my early inspirations for wanting to be an artist. And it was just a cool book, and it's probably not one of my favorite illustrations from it, but it's an illustration from the book that made me want to get into art in some way. So so it's back to that. You look at something forever, and it's still there, and you just So anyway,
you got it.
I got it. I don't know when I'm going to get it now, because it even noted on it, said something like it's it's in the artists. It's with the artists, and they are the ones who are going to ship it. So I hope it comes in good. You know, it's packed well and everything, but we'll
One
see.
of the advantages to getting it direct from the artist is a lot of times they'll hand write, you know, the outside of the package. So in a couple of cases, like I've actually kept the addresses. I've cut them out of the box for like Kevin Nolan. You know, Kevin Nolan did a lot of like logos and hand lettering and things like that. So I have my address with Kevin Nolan's handwriting. I keep those. I've got one.
That's a good idea.
Yeah.
Huh. All right. Well, no, I had never thought about that, but I like that.
Yeah.
And hey, by the way, Matt Moore said that he picked that piece up at Comic Art Live. So that's awesome, Matt. Again, I love the fact that you know, Comic Art Live has helped put pieces of art like that in people's hands. So
Matt Moore should do a flip of just Bolin cover prelims at this point.
That's not a bad idea, Matt. You know, I'd love for you to do it. You've definitely got enough to do a flip for one. So hey, final piece here. This was in I believe it was Jeff Singh's Calf Gallery, a Jack Cole piece. I mean, Cole's always pretty awesome. You know, we don't feature Humorama-ish stuff too often on the channel, so I was like, you know, this is a good one to pick. You know, again, it's just fun stuff. It's like, I don't even know, did he have a date on it? So I was going to say mid-50s. So yeah, 55 is when this was published in something called Gee Whiz, and then like as so often, Humorama Art's published multiple times. You know, it's from the same publisher, and so this piece has been published a few times, but it's just fun, you know, again, and of that time, you know, this very stylistic, nerdy, dull men, you know, beautiful and bored women,
angelic women. Yeah,
right, exactly. And you know, so I love it. I love this piece, and I'm, you know, knowing Jeff and his collection too. Again, that's a lot of this stuff keeps coming back to the collectors, right? You know, we know what they enjoy and the type of art that they like, and I mean, this fits right into to Jeff's collection really well, and I'm sure he was thrilled as hell to get this piece, whether he got it in the mail or pick it up from a dealer or whatever. It was just the moment you get it in your hands. I mean, I'm sure he had to be thrilled. I mean, so I love this piece, and there's a lot of good Humorama art out there too that I skip over because we focus on, you know, spandex or whatever, capes, you know, like we do. But yeah, capes. We'll say capes. Yeah. But this is a great piece, and again, wonderful to have it on calf. I mean, just the details in the dress. I mean, I love the ink wash here. I mean, it's a gorgeous piece.
Yeah, Cole looks so like loose and effortless. I mean, to be loose and effortless, you have to be so good, and it comes through here.
Yeah, without question. So congrats to Jeff on that. Now, see, now, hang on, I'm gonna remember this. What did Andy Fish say? Bill, I got a Lee Elias war page on Cal. You have to shop your own event more. Well, wait a minute. Did you get the Lee Elias that Benno sold? Like, it was like 2 years ago? Because I asked about that one and it was sold by the time I asked.
So you tried.
I remember that piece very well. It was in a warplane, right? There was some guys in the back. I can't remember exactly, but I remember seeing that, and that was the piece that actually made me think, I got to own a Lee Elias war page. I'm going to buy this from Benno. And by the time I asked, it was gone. So yeah, if it was that piece, Andy, you beat me to it. So so there. If it wasn't that piece, then I guess I missed out.
Oh, that is the one.
Yeah. Oh, that and I remember it was very affordable.
Well, so, now you know where it is.
I do. Yes, Andy. If you ever sell, you know who wants that piece. No, I remember. You know, it was so awesome. I was so disappointed when Benno got back to me and told me it was sold. I was like, oh God, why did it? You know, and it was a piece I'd looked at early on, and I waited till day 2 to email him about it because it was still there. I'm like, all right, now I'm gonna ask him, and it was gone. Yeah. Oh well. Now he feels bad. I feel bad now. I felt pretty bad because I remember that show. I didn't buy anything, and I waited until
Andy, if you feel bad, be quiet.
It was cheap. It was
cheap in all caps.
Okay, Andy, it was $200. I remember. We are talking about the same piece, and but they don't feel bad. I'm glad. The thing is, his art's out there. I mean, I will find a piece to replace that, but that was a sweet page. I'm at least I know where it is now.
Yeah.
Anyway, so Chris, as always, this was a lot of fun. This is, I'll be seeing you again in 2023. We don't have somebody scheduled for the first Thursday in January, so it'll be the two of us again. Oh, he's saying it was less than $200. Well, maybe you made I think it was, wasn't it not? It was listed at 200. You offered him less.
You beat him up.
See, now you're making me feel bad. But this last year has been, of course, a ton of fun for me. I mean, it's been my best year in collecting ever, just, and not even from an art standpoint. I think just from the fact that we all got to be able to hang out in person finally after 2 years of the pandemic and everything. I mean, 2022 is definitely, will go down as probably my favorite year in the hobby. And I mean, I can't think of, how to top it, but hopefully, with the things that, we've been talking about and kicking around here with, with Maureen and some other people, just thoughts about how to make CAF better and to just make the hobby more fun. I hope that we can kind of continue the same fun energy and community building that, so many people have put time into. I mean, Nick, gosh, by himself, he's been doing such amazing work, on his channel, just trying to keep everybody positive and do good things. And, he's a showman, but with a wonderful approach to making the hobby better. So Scott Rose, who owns the Avengers Splash? I have no idea, but at any rate, I want to wish everybody a safe and fun New Year. I mean, we've got that coming in tomorrow, New Year's Eve. So stay safe and get those pieces of art posted to CAF before midnight, or you'll be lamenting the fact that you didn't get to participate in Best of 2022. I have to believe that this year we'll have more art. That now more people are familiar with the whole system and the trophies. And where did I put that trophy?
I'm submitting several pieces this year.
I am too. I'm going to be posting a few more pieces tonight or tomorrow. But there's your trophy, everybody. Got the Thor hammer and everything. Everyone should be thanking Mikhail for that wonderful concept. But yeah, don't forget, so get your artwork posted. I'm glad you're going to be doing it, Chris. I assume many other people in the chat will be as well. But have a great new year. I look forward to seeing everybody in 2023. I don't even remember I think my next show will be with is that the Scott Eater show next Tuesday? Yes, it is. So I'll see everybody next Tuesday with Scott Eater. It's going to be a lot of fun. Scott's an incredible guy. If you haven't spent any time talking with him at cons, he's super interesting, and I can't wait to see what pieces he picks for me to talk about.
My first piece of art bought from Scott Eater in Chicago.
Really?
Yep.
Did you tell me that? I don't. That's.
I think I did. Yeah. My first. Let me rephrase. My first published piece. An interior from Scott Eater. So. Well,
yeah, I'm totally looking forward to it. Yeah, he's going to be fun. Like Bootlegging said, Scott Eater will be an education. I completely agree with that. Yeah, he's super knowledgeable, and again, I can't wait to see what pieces he picks, because I can't imagine where he's going to go.
Right.
But
he could go anywhere. I mean, the breadth and depth of it is insane.
Yeah, very true. So, all right,
happy New Year, guys.
See you next year.
Yep.
All right, everybody. So again, take care of yourselves. Have fun tomorrow night, and as much fun and enlightenment and good times we've all shared in 2022. I think that 2023 will be even better. I really firmly believe that. I mean, I think there's a lot of things that we've been planning on adding to CAF. I mean, I'm working towards having a regular show here in Florida in 2024. So we're really kind of looking towards the future and just to find better, more interesting ways to engage with one another. And I think that I've gotten a lot of good ideas. I think the feedback system that we added to CAF here at the end of 2022 was really special and important. And I think something that we're going to be able to build off of going forward. I've got a lot of ideas with that, especially even tying it to the dealer network that I work with. I think what we'll see by sometime in 2023 that you as a CAF member buying through the dealer network that I work with, that the dealers will be able to leave you feedback, and and you'll be able to leave feedback for them, which is a good thing too. Those who want to opt into it. So I feel like we've got a lot of good things that are going to make the hobby a better place. Every day I still get asked by 2 or 3 people, who's this person trustworthy, and how can I deal with them? I think we're going to find ways to fix those things and make the hobby better for us all. So have a wonderful New Year's tomorrow. And again, I look forward to seeing everybody next week, and, be safe. And thanks for all your support throughout 2022 and earlier. I mean, it's meant a lot to me and my family, and I couldn't be here and wouldn't be here today doing the things I'm doing if it wasn't for all of you, hanging out here and doing it with me. So thank you, everyone. Have a wonderful night, and I'll see you again.